Damn it! Spreckle. I'm gonna kill myself.
Do the goddamn intro, Leaf. Your consent means nothing.
Ooga fucking ooga cunts. I'm gonna kill myself now.
All right, Tama, your co-host is useless. Explain what we're talking about tonight.
Tonight we're going to talk about Me Too and how much it sucks and shit like that.
Yeah,
'Cause it
the
really
false
sucks.
allegations, the fucking witch hunt that has resulted from it. It's a fucked up topic. Like, it's a good movement at its core. Expose people who are rapists. That's objectively a good thing. But it turned into a witch hunt real fast.
Oh,
Of course it did. You knew this was going to turn into a witch hunt real goddamn fast.
Well, no, as soon as it started, of course it was going to turn into a fucking witch hunt. It's... which isn't to say that it shouldn't have been done. It's just the nature of these types of things, right? But those who turned it into a witch hunt are, at the very best, stupid people, and at the worst, bad people.
well,
All right.
Yeah, I don't. Atema, you muted yourself apparently.
No,
Yeah,
yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay.
It sounded like you were going to say something there, and then...
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got derailed. I do have little people that live in my house, so
Right.
when they come in and start talking, I mute. So
Oh, okay.
I can't guarantee they won't do that, considering they are my little people. So,
But what were you going to say there?
I don't remember now.
That'll happen at your age.
Not, hey. I can't really deny that. No, I thought it was because I've been dead and done a lot of acid, but okay.
It could also
is
be
my
the acid.
age.
Possibly the acid. But like we were talking about before, I think it was you that brought it up, Leaf.
Yes.
The Me Too movement brings in a lot of false accusations, and it kind of delegitimizes those real cases where there's an actual rapist.
Yep, that's stalking you, or you know, because like it isn't even just the Me Too movement. Even before it started, it was kind of starting to happen where all these false accusations were coming out, and I think the Me Too movement honestly made it worse because now when women specifically say they've been raped, people question it a lot more than they used to. They're like, well, was she actually raped, or did she just get drunk and fuck someone and regret it, or did some guy just look at her the wrong way?
Exactly. If you start calling everything rape, just like if you start calling everyone a Nazi, the word loses fucking meaning. It stops meaning that terrible fucking thing that it was supposed to describe, and it starts meaning, whatever the fuck you want it to mean.
Yeah, I kind of worry that pedophilia is going to go down that road as a term. There's, so many people being brought out into the open with the woodwork, and we've seen several people that have been falsely implied in things over the last 2-3 years, and a lot of the Me Too people even, they'll try to pile in with extra things like that, and I think it really kind of devalues and takes away from the importance of how heinous pedophilia is. And I'm concerned that eventually it's going to turn into one of those words that people don't take seriously either.
Well, I think that's starting already, but for different reasons. It's because, like, there's pedos on social media that admit to being pedos, or they call themselves something else, and they push
MAPs.
Yeah, minor attracted person.
And see, that right there is misleading, because if they're pedophiles, they ain't people.
Exactly. But there's been such a push for that, and it's like, yeah, people are still outraged over it a bit, but it's starting to get to the point where there's also people trolling and pretending, and the more people that troll with that, I think the less people are going to take it seriously as well. When there's actual people on the internet saying, "Yeah, I want to fuck kids, but I won't actually do it though because
Somebody clip her saying that. Sorry, go on.
There's some dude that actually said that he was a minor attracted person or pedophile, and that he would never harm a child. And he, like, I can't even remember how many fucking terabytes of child porn he had. He had a lot of terabytes of child porn.
And see, like, a terabyte is a lot of any kind of porn.
Yeah, I know. I'll have to see. Hi, Samaj.
How you doing, Jimmy? Also, who the fuck has all that background noise?
I have no clue.
What background noise?
Well, one of you sound like Shy Willie fucking said it proper. Someone is in a wind tunnel.
Oh, it was 58 terabytes of child porn.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Wait,
Did that
what?
fix it?
I come to the stream and what's going on? Who's got all this illegal stuff?
This is the trial of Brockus, Jimmy.
Oh, don't you fucking put that shit on me. Fuck you, Schmeckle.
Yeah, I apologize. That one was mean. That one was
Also,
mean.
I'm actually outside, so a lot of the wind is probably going to be coming from me, but I will have myself muted for the most part.
Okay. But yeah,
that fix
who
it?
was this guy, Leaf? Yes, the noise appears to be gone.
He
It was my fan.
some dude from Texas, Richard Belden. He was one of the, I guess, faces of these virtuous pedophile groups or whatever, and he got busted with 58 fucking terabytes of child pornography.
And see, it would make it real easy to catch guys like that if when they said that they're pedophiles, they swooped in and went, "All right, can we just have a look at your computer? Just like 10 minutes."
They shouldn't even have to ask. They should be just like, yeah, we're gonna take a look at your computer there, friend. Just make sure, just to make sure you don't have 58 fucking terabytes of child porn on your computer.
This is why
reasonable suspicion, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is why I always say like we shouldn't do anything like silencing any of these people's speech, because it means that we know who they are and what they're all about.
Exactly. If you want to come out and advocate for fucking kids, you're letting everyone know you want to fuck kids.
When they're running around on social media and they say they want to fuck kids and they have access to children on social media, like I feel that's a bit,
No, and yeah, that is one thing. Free speech and all that, they should have the right to say it. If I were the guy running the big social media thing, to me, they would seem like a massive liability. Having them around where they could access children through my fucking website, that would worry me. I'd want them gone.
Yeah. So it makes sense that that social media would like to snap these people down. At the same time, it's like, this is helping the police find them, right? It's best to just let them be. But I understand why they want to shut it down.
Someone mentioned some dude named Marty. I don't know who the fuck it is.
Yes, Martius Filius. He used to come on this stream as well as
Apparently
a lot of the other streams around at the time. He was busted with quite a bit of child porn.
Oof.
Yeah.
Why is Adamantine's name always popping up in the shit? Like, Jesus Christ.
What's that about Adamantine? And Samaj, what the fuck are you doing?
Playing with Legos.
Fuck's sake, Samaj. Meet yourself.
But no, Adamantine apparently used to stream with this guy too. Huh.
Are you making some suggestions about Adamantine, or?
I'm making suggestions about his choice in friends, because I mean, all of them seem to be pretty shitty.
Well, to be fair, I mean, we didn't know anything about this. I mean, even when he was on the stream with us, we had no idea.
Yeah, but it's one thing to not know and to have one or two people that are just shitty friends. But when you start surrounding yourself with a bunch of shitty people, it makes me question your judgment a bit, just a bit.
Yeah, it does kind of do that. I mean,
Wait, who else is shitty? Because I hang out with him. Irate Prostate hangs out with him.
The Adamantine's also friends with a little bitch. I'll call him the bitch. That's what I'll refer to him as. Who likes to throw temper tantrums when people don't grow his YouTube channel for him.
Scooby.
Well, I think he's friends with Scooby too, but he's also friend with someone else who got mad at me because I wouldn't help him grow his YouTube channel more than I was already fucking helping him.
He's not friends with Scooby.
I'm not talking about Scooby.
Well, no, somebody said he's friends with Scooby. He's not friends with Scooby.
Oh, I was just guessing based on her description of the person.
No.
So when you're surrounding yourself with people like that, and people who fall into this dude's fucking victim complex, and you run around saying that I'm a whore with STDs because I didn't help their friend grow their YouTube channel, and I called them the fuck out for throwing a bitch fit about people not doing all the work for him. Yeah, I'm gonna question your fucking judgment because you're taking the sides of shitty people who do shitty things. And I just question his judgment when he picks his friends. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm
Okay,
not
as long as you're not saying he fucks kids. That's where I thought you were.
He's not.
He wants. I know who he wants to fuck, and I don't think it's ever gonna happen. But who knows?
Anyway, Antihero has a very good point. Back to the pedo shit. The Me Too movement. I don't really see how it facilitates pedophilia, other than the obvious, the false accusations taking legitimacy away from
this
real
is
cases.
all
But
started in Hollywood, Schmeckle, and we know there's a lot of pedos in Hollywood.
yeah, apparently, and nobody ever would have guessed this. Most of the people in Hollywood are pieces of shit.
Just keep your children far, far, far away from Hollywood, guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's actually a topic for another day. Fucking people who sell their kids to Hollywood.
Yeah.
You think all of these fucking child stars aren't fucked up because they're getting it up the pooper? I mean, look at fuck, I'm blanking on the name. Little black guy.
Gary Coleman?
That's it. You know that guy was raped all the time. It's one of the things that, like I said, I do see the value of the Me Too thing. You know that shit's happening. You know that shit's happening a lot. It's got to be called out. Just it's also only got to be called out where it's, like actual rape and molestation and bad shit. I'm sorry, a lot of these cases have seen more like a guy abusing his position than rape. Like if you want to move up the ladder, you gotta suck the dick type thing.
Oh, yeah. But if you look at anything that has to do with how people look, any industry, not just acting, but if you look at all of those, modeling, marketing, all the stuff that beauty applies, you'll see that there is a whole lot of sexual misconduct going on. Like all kinds of different scopes of it. Like seriously, if looks are included in what has to be part of the criteria for the job, you'll see this kind of stuff. So everywhere you see beautiful people, you're going to find this kind of corruption.
No, it makes sense. I mean, and I really hope I don't offend anybody with this, but people would rather have sex with a good-looking person than an ugly person. When you're in an industry where you're surrounded on purpose because of the nature of the industry, by beautiful people, you're gonna get a lot of shitty people that take advantage of that. But I don't think abusing your position to get a woman to have sex is the same thing as rape by any means.
I just want to know when Dan Schneider's gonna get me too'd. I really do.
Who the fuck's that?
Yeah.
He works for Nickelodeon. He worked on shows like iCarly, what else? Drake and Josh, etc. He has this really weird thing for kids' feet, like a weird obsession with children's feet. Like,
Oh, ew.
pretty sure
Every aspect of that sentence. Kids and feet. Fuck is wrong with that?
he's asked children to send them pictures of their feet.
What?
Huh.
He made public tweets about it and everything. I could, if I wanted to, right now, I could go.
Oh, and the worst thing is, like, that's, I don't think technically illegal, because it's not nudes or anything. You know damn well he's getting off to those.
But he has gotten a bit touchy-feely with a child. There was one child who I was actually watching the stream, and they got one of the former child actresses on their show actually to talk about Dan Schneider. She didn't want to give away a lot of names because, you know, it's Hollywood, and if you name names, well, you're pretty much screwed. But she did talk about Schneider. She talked about incidents where he got a bit too touchy-feely with some of the child stars, and wanted, and he even offered to pay a child, I think she was 11 at the time, to tickle her feet. Like, I mean, that's weird. Like, I think he needs to be kept away from children. That was not fake news, Trippy. That was actually a thing. We got the girl, the actress, on to talk about it. She was very open about what happened with Schneider and why a lot of people quit. Nope. See, I like how there's people in denial about Jan Schneider being creepy about kids. But when he's made public creepy tweets about it. And there's public creepy photos of him with some of the actresses when they were underage. What was her name? The bitch that played Sam in iCarly.
Not a clue.
Dirty. Whatever the hell her name is.
What? Who?
The Trippy doesn't even know what girl I'm talking about, but she did work at Nickelodeon. She was I can't fucking remember her name. I'll have to go look up the stream, but she was actually on the what the fuck, with the Amanda show or whatever the hell it was. But Trippy thinks fake news at the girl, who, by the way, I've seen all her pictures, and she does have all the links to the previous shows she worked when she was working for Nickelodeon, and she was on the fucking show. She was on the Amanda show. I remember that.
Oh, so you had this woman on, and she...
Yeah, she was. There was a stream. She actually talked about it. Like, she was on the stream. She wasn't some girl that didn't work for Nickelodeon. She did work for Nickelodeon. I don't know why Trippy's insisting that, you know, she didn't, because she fucking did.
He says, I don't give a shit. I'm just saying it was fake news. Trap, LOL. Hey, he remembers your penis.
But no, like, no, it's not fake news. Trippy, I think it's just retarded.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that he'd be getting away with that if he's been publicly creepy and shit.
Well, like, if you ever see any of the photos that he's taken with the girls who are underage at the time, they look like they fucking want to kill themselves. They all look like they're screaming for death. Like, he's a bit too close, a bit too touchy-feely, a bit too much. But, like, obviously, since he's a big shot in Hollywood, he's gonna be protected. Nobody's gonna like wanna let anybody know that their star producer or whatever has been probably diddling children.
Oh yeah, you know damn well they're standing there uncomfortable because they know what's coming 10 minutes later. People like that shouldn't be in never mind positions of power, but the career that he's in. Nickelodeon, everything about that job means children. It kind of makes you wonder why we're seeing so many of these people pop up in Hollywood and shit. Like whether they are pedophiles who just went that way as their route, or if they went that route with a goal. That goal being like child bumhole.
I don't even know if it's just like they're people that are attracted to children, or if it's so much that they're just people that are like, it's not just children they're into, they're just into fucking everything they can get their hands on.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
I know. But it seems to me, because some of the people that they're talking about, the age range is huge on what they are harassing. You know what I mean? Look, it's like Harvey Weinstein, the age group was really big. You look at Kevin Spacey, he was harassing young teenage boys, but then he was also harassing adult men as well. I mean, there's like a large age group of people that they were willing to harass, a lot of them. So it just kind of makes me wonder,
I mean, that seems weird to me. Like as somebody who doesn't rape people or anything like that, I have a type, right? Now, all the women I sleep with tend to look similar in certain aspects, right? It seems odd that you'd see something as big as like a wide span, a wide age range. Because I mean, there's not a 60-year-old alive who looks like a 20-year-old, right?
Oh, that's true.
It seems weird, although they do say that like rape and stuff like that is more about power than the actual sex. So yeah. I don't know.
Well, there's another word is that we see used too much now because of Me Too, though, isn't it? I mean, every kind of sexual harassment there is on the planet now has suddenly become rape by most of these people.
No, yeah, it's
become rape. That completely
vastly
devalues
overused. Baracus, you still there, buddy? Baracus ain't there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, he is here. I never give you enough time. You did a show the other day on redefining words and shit like that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about how the word rape is being used lately?
It's fucking disgusting. These are words that actually had impact. They actually had meaning behind them. Words like rape, sexism, misogyny, shit like that. These are
Nazi.
Even fucking Nazi. These are words that actually had meaning, that, we used to say them and they were bad words. Now they're being casually thrown around like somebody's tossing confetti into the air, and it's fucking disgusting because now anything can be rape. I stare at a girl for more than 3 seconds, rape. I decide that I don't like the fucking female writer for a comic book because the comic book is poorly written. It's just shit writing. The dialogue doesn't make any sense. All of a sudden, I'm a misogynist. I'm a sexist. And I fucking disagree with the fucking goddamn shit on the left, with anything on the left, and all of a sudden I'm a Nazi. And it's just like, what the fuck, guys? Really?
It's like, I think it was actually Jerry Seinfeld who said it, and he phrased it poorly like he always does. But basically, these kids want to say these words. They want to use these words. It's not about the actual meaning behind it. It's about wanting to call something racist, wanting to call something out as racist or a misogynist or whichever. It's not even that we live in a fucking victim culture anymore. We live in a fucking virtue signaling culture. That's the modern youth experience now. How much can you prove you're a good guy?
Oh yeah, yeah. How tipped is your fedora cap? Yes. Um,
It's it's ridiculous. Not just on the on the face of it, like the obvious reasons it's ridiculous, but it makes activism for activism's sake makes actual activism, look like a joke. The same applies to anything you're gonna pretend to take offense about. If you're gonna sit there and get en masse, large amounts of you're gonna sit there and get offended, call it fucking microaggression or a hate crime or something. When somebody disagrees with your views or shit like that, you're making shit worse, not just for yourself but for everybody else. You are detrimental.
yeah.
So
I mean,
that last sentence was just
it's like,
aimed at Brockus. It had nothing to do with the people I was talking about.
oh, fuck me. I was like, wait a minute, what? Detrimental? Everything's detrimental. We could say you're detrimental, Schmeckle.
I'm certainly detrimental, but I don't try not to be.
Well, I guess technically we could say I am because I made more than just replacements for myself in terms of children. So
Yeah, I've heard that whole argument. You should only have as many as are involved in the couple. 2 kids, and then after that, fuck off. I'm not worried about overpopulation because I'm gonna be dead by then. But anyway, I'll be right back. Leafs
he's gonna
and
be dead
chips.
by then.
Oh, I don't
Of course he's gonna be dead by then. You don't know how to sleep anymore.
I don't think Schmeckle ever sleeps. It's just like, oh, I know he does occasionally, probably during streams. How about you? He said be right back so he could take a power nap.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Always one of the two. But no. I don't know what, like, I still find it funny how one of the main people in this Me Too shit has also been Me Too'd. She's been accused of raping a minor. Not only has she been accused, she turned around. She's like, "Well, it was his fault." I shouldn't say the best part. He's no longer alive. He committed suicide. She's literally placing all the blame on this kid that committed suicide. Yeah, no, I didn't do anything wrong. It was all him. It's his fault. He wanted me to pay him. Just doesn't really add up at all.
Well, now what I heard, because I haven't been able to stop and read like everything, what I heard was that she was grooming that kid for like a decade.
I actually didn't hear about that. Just heard that he had accused her, obviously before he committed suicide or whatever. He had accused her of basically molesting him, and she's getting away with it because my vagina, slap on the wrist. Oh, you fucking raped a little boy. Oh well, that's okay. You have a vagina, so we're just gonna either sweep it under the rug, or if there's too much outrage, we're gonna give you a slap on the wrist. It always happens. It always fucking happens.
Okay, Trippy says she met the guy when she was 7 and she fucked him at 17. What
When
the fuck
he
is
was
he talking
7, holy shit, the fuck?
about? The fuck is he talking about? I walk away for a couple seconds. Now we're talking about more fucked up pedo shit apparently.
We're talking about that. What the fuck is her name? I don't even remember her name.
Oh, are you talking about Fad?
No.
Oh no, the fucking Nickelodeon chick.
No.
Okay, then who the fuck are you talking about?
Someone fucking put her name in chat. I can't remember it. I can never remember her name. I just know her as the pedo. Asia, that Asia chick.
Asia.
Asia Argento.
Yeah, that bitch. She's
the one that was doing the grooming, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that chick. Okay.
So she started grooming him when he was 7. Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
That's kind of distressing because that's actual pedophilia kind of behavior. That's sociopathy. That's all kinds of really wrong things.
And then she said I'll say she raped him when he was 17. And now she's trying to pin all the blame on a dead kid. That's what she's doing. She's trying to place all the blame on a dead kid. And since he is no longer alive, he can't exactly defend himself.
Yeah, fucking groomers, like, it's bad enough if you're just gonna go fucking diddle or rape a kid or something like that. Then you should be fucking drowned, die. But to fucking groom some kid so that you can one day fuck them when they're older, like that's a long-term fucking investment. Like that's crazy.
Saying the kid isn't dead, but from what I'm hearing, the kid committed suicide. Every article I've read, they've said that the kid committed suicide. So if the kid committed suicide, explain to me how the fuck he is not dead. Why are the articles saying he fucking committed suicide? Well, why are they? Well, then the articles need to fucking stop saying he committed suicide.
Did he maybe attempt suicide?
I don't know, because I read several articles where they said he outright committed suicide. So from reading that, I was like, oh, he's dead. But apparently,
yeah. If you successfully commit suicide, you ain't alive no more. But multiple people in the chat are saying he's alive. But okay, no, I think they're thinking about somebody else.
Oh, Anthony Bourdain, her boyfriend, is dead.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, you're thinking.
I wasn't confusing him with Bourdain. It was maybe the articles were doing that, because when I was reading the articles, they weren't talking about Bourdain. They were talking about the kid. They're saying the kid committed suicide, and then there's outrage on Twitter saying, "Oh, well, why is she placing all the blame on a dead kid?" I was like, "Oh, so then he did commit suicide."
No, maybe they misunderstood it too. Maybe the audience is misunderstanding it. Pull up a fucking article.
I'll find one.
That way it's real simple. We can just read if he's dead or not.
Yeah, just hold on.
Yeah, it's... I think unlikely that she'll end up seeing any, like, appropriate punishment. Both because she's a woman and because I don't think all of your states have the death penalty.
I'm a special guest.
Yeah.
No, you're a very special guest, Trippy.
I know.
No,
that's so on my helmet.
I think you're special in a different way, Trippy.
It says so on my helmet.
Oh God, we had a guy with a lisp on last night. I just remembered that.
I saw that William guy or Will guy that was like talking shit about Anon. Kept calling her a bully, and
yeah, that dude's nuts, man.
Weird. Very weird. I was flipping through his Twitter, and I'm like, "Wow, this guy's you guys are gonna end up fucking with a special ed kid."
Have you seen the fucking threats he was making and shit?
Mm-hmm. He called her a bully.
Yeah, she is a bully. Fucking on.
What's she been doing to bully him?
To bully him? She's been pointing out all the things he said. Sorry, I was reading Will Honorless's tweet. I kind of got his list for a second.
That's another Will guy.
Yeah, Will Cato. Cato. However the fuck you say it. He actually kind of lines up well with the hashtag Me Too topic.
True. Hashtag Me Too is what Will should put on his Twitter. He should definitely do it. He should be like, I was bullied. Me too. It seems like he might have multiple personalities.
I don't think he has multiple personalities. I am starting to think maybe the guy is a little fucked up.
Did you watch the video?
He literally has a girlfriend with Down syndrome, doesn't he?
Oh,
maybe he's got Up syndrome, and they'll have a kid, and it'll counteract it.
It'll level out. He'll be a normal kid.
And then the kid will come out with Middle syndrome. It'll be just as fucked up as the rest of us.
And then it would be trippy. What?
Maybe. Yeah, Lee, fake news. That chick was lying.
No, you don't even know the chick. You just come on her. Yeah, she's lying. Fucking retarded, Trippy. Stop.
It was all over the damn thing.
No, it wasn't.
That one thing with
Different. You're
with
thinking
the
of a
stuff.
different girl. The chick
But
I'm
it's the same
talking about.
story. It's like this chick. She comes out. She's like, I was working for Nickelodeon, and then Dan Schneider offered me $100 to rub my feet.
No, I said a different girl said that. The girl we had on also said Dan Schneider got a bit too touchy-feely and also had an obsession with her feet.
Yeah.
Talking
What
about
did he
that
do to your
girl.
feet?
There's this black chick that came on to the stream, and she did fucking work for Nickelodeon.
Wait. Are you talking about Lisa Nanny?
What stream?
I will
Whose
find
stream was this?
Wait, you know what? Actually, I have the stream in my history. Hold up. I will send
Oh, it was
it
recent.
now. I know.
Was
I
it
remember
recent?
this because I just found it. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure it was this one. There's a lot of streams done, so if it's the wrong one, I'm sorry. Where's your Twitter, Trippy?
Trippy poop.
I know
Schmeckle, go
what your
on
Twitter
camera.
is, Trippy. I'm trying to find it in my DMs.
I can't go on camera. I'm on vacation. I don't have
Go
my
on camera to show us how pretty your haircut is.
I don't have a haircut. I don't cut my
I thought
hair
you
in
said
years.
you had bows on it.
Oh, well, I'm wearing bows. I'm very pretty
Oh,
right
okay.
now. But I didn't
I didn't
cut
know
my
if it was.
hair.
Stream. I sent
Must
it
have
to
just
you.
got it
There's
style.
a stream I gotta find though.
Well, I can't watch however long it is, and I'm not gonna be able to watch it in 10 seconds.
Oh, it was.
Schmeckle. What?
It's
Child
13.
abuse.
Okay,
Child
no.
actors forced.
Which stream?
I can't name drop these people. I don't associate with them anymore, and I'm not gonna promote them. But I can send you the link. Atema. I'm not gonna say it on stream because I don't wanna have the old shit brought up about them again.
Oh, okay.
All right, now back to rapists and stuff. Another clone says JF interviewed ex-porn star Hannah Hayes. That had to have been creepy as shit. I can't see JF not being creepy about that.
Me neither. I don't even know that guy.
I might have to actually watch that.
Oh, it's only 13 minutes. Okay. I finally got it to load.
Also, we got $10 from Mr. LM002. He says, 1. Pedo acceptance is fucked. We shouldn't kill them for their thoughts. We should treat them as mentally fucked people and try to find a cure.
No, there's
Child molesters should face punishment. Hashtag #MeToo equals fucked. You know, maybe they could find like a pill or something someday that'll fix a fucking pedophile.
They can't even fix it with fucking like shit like castration because they just start going to fucking sodomy. So you know what? Fucking who cares?
How could you sodomize somebody if you castrated?
Gas the fucking pedos. Gas the fucking pedos.
At
So,
that point, I like to be pragmatic, so I tend to lean in that direction too. Just to get the fuck rid of them. At the same time, if they haven't actually done a crime yet.
Yeah, it's the whole thought police thing kind of is rather terrifying to me.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to just see them all killed off.
In order to dehumanize someone, they'd have to be a person to begin with, and we all know that pedos aren't people.
Calm down. Just because every guy interested in you is a pedo. I couldn't finish that.
From some views, they aren't people. They're human, certainly, but from a philosophical standpoint, it could be argued that they're not people.
Are furries humans?
No.
Nope.
All right, cool. Ah, shit, my
You
phone's
can
ringing.
cry about dehumanizing pedos all you want, but you know, I think it's more fucked to want to diddle children than it is to say, yeah, no, pedos aren't people.
Well,
so
it's
cry more.
it's not that part. No, that's not my concern. My concern is that when you start saying, "Oh, these people have these thoughts," and that makes them less than human, it's not hard to see that progressing to more and more stuff.
I think anybody who wants to fuck a child is subhuman. That's my opinion. I think they should all be fucking lined up in front of a firing squad and shot. They don't deserve to live. And you could get mad at me all you fucking want, but you don't know how badly it fucks up a kid and how fucking long it fucks someone up to be abused by a pedo, especially when it's done for numerous fucking years. So no, all pedos can fucking die.
I kind of do.
You're in a safe place right now. Everybody here loves you.
I was sexually abused as a child, so I kind of do.
Jesus Christ! Like all of my co-hosts have been raped.
Not me. I do the rape. I mean,
I'll
what?
be at your house
Well, no,
tomorrow.
I was sexually abused as a child, and I
Okay.
was raped as an 18-year-old. It does fuck you up, yes, and it's bad. But I think just automatically just killing everybody because they've committed a crime isn't necessarily the best way to run a society.
We have a
I
family
don't
friend
think
that was.
you should kill everybody who commits a crime. That would be dumb.
Dude,
I do
level.
think there are certain crimes where
No.
the proper
to say a
preventative
specific
measure.
crime.
Yeah,
A
and
specific crime. Just
I
killing them
think
all.
I think there are specific crimes where the appropriate preventative measure, because these crimes by necessity they involve people who are well beyond deranged.
Yeah, you're talking about like serial killers and serial rapists.
Serial
people that-
killers, any
yeah.
rapist, shit like that. I mean, if it's an actual rapist, obviously not.
Yeah, see, and that's maybe it's because we have this really loose term of rape now. When somebody says, kill all the rapists, I'm like, oh, wow.
No,
That's
see, rape. You can name basically any crime, and I can find some way that maybe they had an excuse for it. Rape and child molestation, shit like that. There's never an excuse. You never need to rape, right? You might need to steal. You might need to kill. You never need to rape. If you rape, there's something wrong in your brain. And
I agree with that.
I think the pragmatic move is to kill you so that you, like, 100% can't do it again.
You know what? If someone, I see something. I see the chat. I'm paying attention to chat. If some dude, and this actually happens, says children want and need pedophiles, and not teaching and not allowing children to engage with sex play with adults, is the same thing as not teaching them how to swim. And he admits to going around and jacking off to a four-year-old and insisting that this 4-year-old came on to him. No, fucking kill him. He does not deserve to live. You could say, well, it's just words. No, this dude, the dude is like fucking saying that 4-year-olds can come on to him, and he's like, what, fucking in his 30s, late 20s? I don't fucking know. He needs to die either way, especially when he's saying that not teaching a child or not allowing a child to engage in sex play is the same thing as not teaching them how to swim. Oh, also he said that pedophiles are better for children than their parents.
Okay, now it depends on sex play. If you're talking about that, you're talking about kids playing doctor and touching each other and stuff when they're
not to him. He means like not allowing a child to engage in sexual interactions with an adult. This dude was outed as a pedophile. He was featured on Salon saying, "I'm a pedophile, not a monster."
Oh, that guy.
Yes.
Okay.
He was on a forum, and I fucking have the forum archived, where he was saying things like, children, should be allowed to engage in sex play with adults. He said that if society was more sex positive, he would fuck a child. Stuff like that.
Okay, that's not sex positive though. Okay, so I think we're kind of getting things conflated. That guy is really actually fucked, and he needs to be held accountable for that. I agree that guy is fucked, but we need to look at this as case by case. I think it's really dangerous to start saying things like kill them all and stuff, because just like in Me Too, there is a whole lot of false accusations, and you're talking about killing people without an...
I'm not talking
You know
about
what I mean?
I'm not talking about just killing people that are accused of pedos. No, I'm talking about actual pedos who either admit that they're pedos or have been proven to be pedos. No, they all need to die. Not the people that but there needs to be evidence, that they actually are pedophiles.
Yeah, what I always say with the fucking death penalty is it should be 0% doubt.
Yeah.
Like they're caught red-handed, they've admitted to it, shit like that.
Okay.
Uh,
We haven't been
it-
able to find a cure for it, so it's more humane to end a person's life that suffers from such a disorder because it is something that is completely unacceptable in our society. But
Fuck humanity. It's more pragmatic. It's more reasonable. It's safer to
well,
kill them.
it's actually more humane in the long term because the only other choice would be, attempting things like chemical castration and stuff like that. And I think uh, that can be equally torturous if you look at some of the side effects of those medications and stuff. Um, I think, and then if they are in prison and they have to stay there for the rest of their lives, they have to be kept in solitary confinement because everybody will kill them.
Yeah, and see, I don't agree with putting them in prison. For a whole host of reasons. There's taxpayers' money, giving them a place to
Exactly.
live, etc. But the most important is they are not a 0% threat when they're in prison. The threat may be low, but they could harm another inmate. They could harm one of the staff. They could escape. Very low odds, but not 0 odds.
Or if they're in Canada, they just get let out.
Or that they just get released because hey, maximum 25 years.
Yep. Oh well, he's high risk, but it's okay, guys.
He did his time.
Oh my God. See, no, you can't. They
Yeah.
can't really get away with that in America. They only
And not only do
that
we not
are
have a death
criminally
penalty, we don't have a real fucking life penalty.
Yeah.
God, this country sucks.
Yeah. In the States, y'all can put like life sentence on life sentence on life sentence. In Canada, you
And
can't do that.
they will do 25 to life. Life here just is 25.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
They-
no, but we're a lot different. Our justice is far more in your face than a lot of other nations. We we make it very absolute and hardlined in a lot of ways. So when you say gas them all and stuff like that, you know, to an American, that's like, whoa, that's not the way we see it because we have absolutes. 25 to life is depending on the age and the crime. 25 years, or if they die while they're in prison, is what it means. It's just a little different. It really, we have 25 years. The only reason you see people in jail for more than that is because they do more than one life sentence. But it's a life sentence in America is 25 years.
Yeah, but in Canada, you can't hand them like one on top of each other like you can in the States. It's you only get the one, and then you could sometimes even be released before that. And even if you're like if the person is high risk of committing the crime again, they don't care.
No, neither does our legal system. No legal system does.
Especially with rapists and child molesters. Like you look it up, specifically in Canada. And honestly, I'm pretty sure there's been some that I haven't even heard of yet, but you'll find article after article after article of warnings. Oh, this person's released in this part of Canada. They're a high-risk sex offender.
Carla fucking Homolka. Not only was she released after raping and killing multiple girls, including her sister, the government paid for her to get a new name and a new face.
Fuck me.
Paul Bernardo, her partner, is fortunately still in prison. But it's got to be getting close to 25 years now. He'll be out soon.
That's brilliant.
That's our fucking country.
Yeah, it's kind of a joke.
And it's it can't even be blamed on Trudeau. Just this country sucks.
Yeah, this has been like this for like a while.
Trump, if you ever for some reason scroll across this stream, take us over. Invade.
Merge Canada and the US together and just have Trump run the whole thing. And Trudeau just fade into, fade away. Like he never existed. Go back to being a drama teacher. I don't know.
I've been
Peasy
asked
says,
multiple times. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Peasy says, do you not get the ridiculous concurrent sentences over there? where you serve sentences for different crimes at the same time. I think we do have those. I'm not certain. I mean, if you have 2 years for one crime and like 3 for another, you shouldn't get out after 3. You should get out after 5. So that's how math works. Concurrent sentences are dumb.
Okay.
Anyway, what were you saying, Atama?
American Phoenix wanted me to ask Leaf, why do you hate the blacks and the gays?
I don't hate blacks, and I'm not straight, so I don't hate the gays. I made one joke towards who?
Grokis, she's half a fag just like you.
Where? Yeah, I am. But where did I don't remember what I said.
I love the dismissal there.
Mr. LM002 says for $2 says, y'all read the super chat? I guess we missed a super chat. Let me see. There it is. Let me hop on. I'll gladly make my points. Sure, why not? Brockus, send an invite to Mr. LM002.
I will send a invite to him.
I think his Twitter is just Mr. LM002.
No, it is. It is. I have him in my DMs.
Perfect. Yeah, Will Honorless in the chat is shocked. He's saying, wait, see, the unapologetic Canadian is a half fag? What?
You know what? I just have to say, when it comes to the people that actually are in our chat and donate and comment and stuff like that, Joseph Kerwin is very closely in my top 5 right now.
I'm a fan of Joseph Kerwin.
Yeah, that dude donates a lot. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I haven't even been that long, and I noticed.
Joseph Kerwin for $3 Canadian dollars. Pedos are shit humans. I completely agree. Still humans and killing humans is murder. Furries aren't humans, so killing them is slaughter. Could be costly fine if they're out of season. He does have a valid point on the.
But see, killing humans is not always murder.
Exactly.
If you go to war, are you a murderer? If you're a cop and you end up having to shoot a criminal, are you a murderer? If you kill somebody in self-defense, are you a murderer?
You have to remember, murder is defined as the unlawful killing of another human being.
As Ray Stone says, and it is defined as the unlawful, but he says the unjust killing of humans. And I mean,
same shit.
That's where I make the differentiation. If you kill somebody for no reason, you're a shit guy. If you kill somebody for shitty reasons, you're a shit guy. If you kill somebody for good reasons, can't call that murder. I mean,
well, that's why we have a difference. Even back in the time of the 10 Commandments being written, looking at the Bible, they had a difference between kill and murder. Murder meant you did something with malicious intent. You wanted that person dead. Not that you were defending yourself and somebody died or it was an accident, something like that. There was a difference. There's always been a difference.
Exactly. Like I said, basically any crime, with the exception of there are probably more, but the exceptions that come to mind are rape and diddling kids. With those exceptions, basically any crime can be excused if you have a damn good reason.
To an extent, I mean that creates a whole different slippery slope of moral relativism, and you have to have some sort of firm boundaries.
Well, certainly there are firm boundaries. Those exceptions. But I mean, basically any crime. It can be an explanation for it, like killing somebody. You have self-defense, all that shit. Stealing. Gotta feed the family, shit like that, right? Well, what other crimes do you think are never forgivable?
Well, malicious intent crimes where, like rape when it's, especially when it's like violent and it's violating and stuff like that, it causes harm on so many different levels to the
Well, no,
individual that
rape.
experiences it.
Rape, I don't think is ever forgivable. That's definitely one of the exceptions.
Well, but I'm quantifying that because rape is so loosely used for everything now. I'm
Oh
talking
yes,
about,
I mean actual rape. When you force
yeah,
a woman who does not want to have sex, or a man who does not want to have sex with you, to have sex with you.
exactly. When you're talking about it has some sort of violence and force, and it causes harm on so many levels. That's something that's kind of, it's hard to quantify how to judge or sentence somebody for something like that, because you don't physically see a lot of harm, but you see the emotional and psychological harm manifest over a long period of time. It's generally not even a uh, uh, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not even whatever. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure I do.
Sorry, there was a bang in the background and it totally stopped me. What was I saying?
Yeah,
I can't
as
remember.
Malachi says, rape is wrong no matter which of the 5 million genders it happens to.
Well, yeah, no, rape itself is wrong. No, I was talking about violent rape. You know, you see long-term effects on those people that experience violent rape, but people don't believe uh, about a lot of the long-term effects of actual violent rape. They don't discuss a lot of the actual long-term stuff because it takes so long for a lot of that to manifest and be worked through. That's all I was trying to say for rape. I think violent rape does something different to a human being than coercive rape. I don't know how else.
I could see that, but
It has different effects.
I mean that would make sense, right? I mean, just adding the violence is going to add trauma and all that, right?
Real quick, we have another Streamlabs from Joseph Kerwin for $2 Canadian. The U.S. has enough trouble with California. We don't need Canada too. Well, actually, I think we could use a swap.
Yeah, you know what? Just make California the new Canada, and everybody who doesn't want to stay in the United States of Canada can get the fuck out.
We'll at least take half of Canada and leave Quebec the fuck alone because fuck that place.
Oh no! I have a really, really good idea for Quebec.
Ruckus, give
A
that to
big radioactive hole.
Ruckus, did you give
What?
the guy Ruckus?
Did I give the what?
Give Mr. LM002 the goddamn link, you lazy fuck.
Shit, yeah.
How
my
did
bad.
you forget about that?
I forgot. I'm very distracted. I actually
He's
Stop
looking at
messing
your nudes
with
again,
me.
Leaf.
Pay attention.
I'm gonna be. I'm not looking at any news or anything like that. I'm actually gonna bounce out because of where I am. There's way too much background noise for me, so I am gonna just drop.
Oh, that's fine. Jimmy's here. I can make him do my bidding.
Fair enough.
All right, I'll talk to you later there, Marcus.
Have a good one, Bragus.
All right, I'm gonna link him first, and then I'm gonna drop.
Okay, sounds good to me. Sorry I had to dip out there, guys.
He went to get coffee.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, believe it or not, I was actually talking to a girl. So
Oh, so your dick
Oh.
wasn't in your hand.
I like
no,
this. Go.
not.
Kick it.
We'll see how things go. So,
All right. I'm gonna check Streamlabs real quick, and then I'm gonna bounce out because I just remembered I'm actually the one with Streamlabs open at the moment. So no, we're good for now. Somebody else is gonna have to track the Streamlabs because Joseph Kerwin is gonna be here. He's gonna want to make some more comments. Maybe other people are gonna want to actually donate to the Streamlabs. Who knows? Anyways, guys, it's been interesting. Hashtag #MeToo is a goddamn trash fire. It needs to fucking die. Again, had good intentions, got derailed real fucking fast. No one's surprised by this.
I'm not even sure
Oh,
if
I
it even
don't-
had.
Yeah, so I was gonna say sorry.
I'm not even sure it even had good intentions. Something about it strikes me as it was just designed.
Nefarious from the start. Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually agree with the hashtag #MeToo from the start in the sense that people like, oh my God, who is that actor? He's Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman's been saying for decades, along with Corey Haim, that there are pedophiles in Hollywood. There is fucking sex trafficking going on in Hollywood. There's disgusting people, producers, directors, actors, actresses, horrible, horrible people. There have been plenty of actors in the past basically pointing out how fucked up these human beings are. And I actually do agree. Expose these pieces of shit for the piece of shit that they actually are. But again, got derailed and hijacked real fucking bad because of course it would.
Sorry
Anyway,
I took off for so long.
That's my say. I'm gonna take off. Take it easy, everybody.
Have a good one, Brockus.
Baracus. Obamas. Anyways,
So how you doing,
Tim,
on 002?
I'm doing pretty decent. How about yourselves?
Not too bad.
not too good, considering that Mr. LM's not laying in my trailer ready for a foot rub. God.
Foot rub.
God.
Hey, you get a foot rub. Pay you no dollars because I'm broke.
What? You got some damn appendage of me or something, man? You just
No.
you're not satisfied with your stubs?
We were talking about the Nickelodeon thing.
Oh yeah, I heard about
So
that.
Tim, Mr. LM, Leaf, you guys go in the trailer and start rubbing each other's feet.
No,
I'll
nobody's
be in there
touching
for a
my
while.
feet. Nope, nobody's touching my feet. Nope, nope, nope.
I disappeared for a bit. What happened in Nickelodeon?
Oh,
Dan Schneider, the guy known as his nickname is Holder Tighter, She's a Fighter Schneider.
God.
Okay, go on.
Dan Schneider, the guy that used to do like fucking All That and Kenan and Kel, and he was
iCarly,
heavily involved.
There's another
iCarly, yeah.
Zoe 101.
I think that superhero show that was horrible, and I saw like once. I don't know, but
They're
yeah. He was a big time producer of Nickelodeon's kids shows, and that motherfucker has an affinity for young girls' feet. There's literally there's a video of that. Who's that chick?
how much of that sentence bothers you so much? Young girl's feet.
Everything. I don't like feet.
There's
Yeah,
a
I
video
don't
of
either.
Samaj that we should all send to Samaj, except for it might be illegal. It's
yeah, don't
Ariana
do that.
Grande. It's Ariana Grande, and she's putting ketchup on her toes and shit.
Also, he had this weird thing with
Yeah,
like in every show he worked, they're involved feet. Like
Yep.
them doing weird shit with their feet
Well,
and stepping
hell.
on their toes.
even
Or-
the Nickelodeon sign at one point was a foot.
Yeah.
Kind of tells you
Oh
something.
shit, I remember that.
Yeah, it was mid '90s, late '90s, I think. I don't know for sure, but
Like,
yeah, they had this video. It was Ariana Grande, and I guess what it was a mid, like a commercial break. It was something they showed before a commercial break during this show she was on, and it was just her laying out of bed and like trying to lick her big toe and then pouring ketchup all over her feet.
just,
And there was that. There was some other ketchup shit with the iCarly girl.
didn't
Oh
he
wow.
get some of them to suck on each other's feet too? Like there's so
Yeah.
much.
Well, there's the one thing where like he had the girl was using like a slingshot, but she was using her, or it was a bow and arrow, and she was shooting it with her feet. And that was in an episode, I guess. I watched a Mr. Gunk video, I think it was, on this. It was either him or Jamie Deluxe. One of those two did a video on it, and they showed a lot of the images and videos. But it's just fucking, it's so past creepy. Also,
I just like to come out and state now that people with foot fetishes should be right
Shut up.
next to the pedophiles.
Shut up. It's fine. Look at
Hey,
a little,
when
little
it's
bit of
when it's
toe
not
jam, it's one of these.
pedophilia, I think like most perversion, when it's not pedophilia or bestiality, or well, I mean, I'm not
Oh, you got
a
a
fan
problem
of
with Moxley
stat.
now? You got a problem with Moxley now?
Yeah, you got a problem with Tom P?
Yeah, that guy.
Hey, I don't think Pinoid is going to enjoy that, so I don't know if that's quite bestial. Well, that's fucking an animal, but I feel like that's just being a whore for money.
You guys, if you want to know what he looks like, just think about the movie fucking Good Burger. He was the manager at Good Burger. That's who Dan Schneider is. The fat guy for Good Burger.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Dan Schneider.
Okay.
But no,
Yeah.
I think most fetishes are fine so long as it's not pedophilia or bestiality.
Right?
yeah.
I
As
mean,
long as
it-
it's
it may
not
not be-
pedophilia, bestiality, or a foot fetish, I have no issue with. I mean, I have some issues with it, but you do you.
There's only because Schmeckle would try to get his feet licked and nobody would do it for him.
Man, I don't care how fucking good foot stuff might feel.
doesn't.
I know foot massages are nice. They feel good, and
What
I
if
won't,
Betty
I
White had a
won't let
foot
somebody
fetish?
that I would let her suck on my toes.
What if
I've
Betty
given
White
some
had a
women
foot
some
fetish?
foot rubs
Betty White
before.
could suck on all of my toes.
Oh
I
God.
would
There you go.
insert my
Oh yeah,
foot
dude.
to her vagina.
Oh yeah. Oh man, back when we were doing sex ed, when I was in like middle school or whatever it was, the lady that came there to tell us what sexual assault was, she goes big, like one of the, she got onto like fingers and vagina, and then she goes big toe and vagina, and of course the entire class just laughed our asses off. Big toe and vagina.
Yeah, you
Could
had
be
a much
sexual
more
assault.
in-depth sex, or what do you call it, fucking sex ed course than we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
have like the evangelical fucking don't have sex until you're ready or any of that shit. They just
Oh,
told
no.
us, they're like, well, you know, it feels good and all, but
We didn't have that issue, or we didn't have that problem either. We just didn't really go into sexual assault too much. No, I mean,
Yeah.
most everybody in my class, when we had the class, didn't know fuck all about like any of how that shit worked. Like, I think the first day we had class is like, okay, name the different parts of the penis and the vagina, and most people could get like 3 for.
there's more than one part of a penis.
Well, there are individual parts. It's a singular piece.
Oh, I fucking heard today from Ren's stream that I guess I forget what fucking state it was in, but they changed their medical books to no longer refer to a pussy as a vagina. Now it is written down as front hole.
Yeah, I remember hearing that. That is a terrible.
I was like, what do we
word.
change, dude? I go, what do we change dick to? Front pole? Then I want to stick my pole in your hole, or
Man, you've
what's
never picked up a lady using that exact line.
I prefer the term meat baton.
you don't use cockles?
I mean,
that's not what's
it's
working.
adorable, and I think it really suits certain people better than others. But I
Could
think
you imagine, dude? Could you imagine some chick being like, "Oh yeah, lick my front hole"?
I think that's about like gash level, like in terms of it's just like, oh, I lick my gash. It's like,
Like,
What
gash
happened
doesn't,
to it?
like gash doesn't even sound that good either. It's
I hear
pretty-
gash. I think Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
Yeah, they called
Oh,
themselves.
good. I'm not the
They
only
called
one.
themselves the Gash, dude. That's the people that hung with the Hellraiser. They were the
Oh, okay.
Gash. You know.
I've just
I'm
been
not
on
the only
fucking
one.
live leak too much to like when I hear gash, I see some graphic shit just flash through my mind. And there goes your boner.
Oh no! What do you mean? I'm harder. I'm harder, man. Come on, tell me some more. I'll rub your feet while you tell me.
God, you're horrible. I know.
We'll watch the videos together while you get a foot rub.
Why the fuck is
I don't know
Trippy
whose
here?
hand that is.
Why the fuck is-
I was invited.
Yeah, Trippy was invited by one of the hosts, Samash.
I
Well, I'm
figured
allowed
that
here.
much. I'm just saying while he's
Right?
here.
Yeah,
Hey,
I wanted him here, damn it.
Yeah,
I
she
don't-
was like, I need somebody who's not 12. No, she never said that. She was actually just like, hey, you feel like streaming? I was like,
Nah.
sure. He'll pre-stream.
Yeah, now I'm just referring to the stories that you're telling. Like,
Or I play cards. Dude, I gotta play Cards Against Humanity for like 5 hours a night because I'm waiting on somebody to join us. Apparently, I'm gonna have Magog's makeup lady on my stream tonight. She approached me. She was like, "You mind if I come on and play cards with y'all?" I'm like, "All right, yeah." So she's also bringing her fiance.
Really moving
So
up in the world,
that's-
ain't you, Trip?
That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's all because I know Schmeckle, man. Even though I don't know if he watches this show.
I didn't know that Magog had a makeup lady, or is she
Well, he
bullshit?
will when he has a the full-fledged show. Like them two are actually they're friends in real life already. You know.
Well, yeah, if she's doing
offered
his
her
makeup,
services.
obviously they know each other in real life.
Well, no. It's not that she doesn't
Can't do
his
makeup over the internet.
She doesn't do his makeup. I'm pretty sure he does that himself. It's that she's going to be making up other people when he has the whole show. I'm pretty sure. I'll
Oh,
fucking
okay,
ask
gotcha.
her. I'll ask her, man. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, but she seems pretty cool so far, and I guess she'll be on tonight. But she works really late, and she's like 2 hours behind us. So
I'm gonna purposely set up a stream during your stream and steal her.
yeah, sure,
I'm gonna be that type of guy, Trippy.
nice. You do that. She kept talking about her fiance, and I was like, well, just fucking bring him with you.
Jesus Christ.
I don't have a problem. Fuck.
Speaking of fiancés, boyfriends, girlfriends, shit like that. Samaj, how awkward was that being in a stream with Brockus after he's broken up with you to go after Leaf?
Bromage.
Romage will never die. It's still a thing.
Bromage was a thing like a year ago.
Only in your head, Ken.
Yeah, it was a thing.
Oh, it's not a thing.
They were together
Hey,
for a
chat,
very
go
long
post your
time.
Romage memes on Twitter.
They were together for a very long time, and then, Brockus started dating Zell. So,
Where do you see this ending? Where do you see this ending there?
Like 2 or 3 kids. One of you dies in your mid 60s, maybe early 70s.
natural causes, exactly.
Romage will never die.
Or either natural causes or anal trauma. I'm not sure which way you're going to go out or who's going to go out, but one
Well,
of them
to
is
be fair,
definitely gonna be
with their
blown up.
lifestyle, anal trauma is only natural.
Yeah, the natural causes. Okay, yeah, it works. At least it'll look nice in the papers. They gave birth to one gorilla. His name was Schmeckel.
Which one's the mommy?
Obviously, that'd be Brockus.
Yeah, Brockus
Yeah,
is
he
always
does
a little
get one.
slow.
He's a total dude. He's a catcher.
Catcher.
He's an absolute catcher. It's like Ren and Stimpy, except for not as attractive.
By the way, Leaf, since Brockus and Samaj are both competing for your love, I would like to point out Brockus is the catcher. You're gonna have to do more work if you're with Brockus.
Pegging.
Yeah, it's just never gonna happen with either of them. They both can stay away.
Is
Hard.
it because they're both really gross and fat and their virginities have probably grown back by this point?
Virginity doesn't grow back. As far as I can tell.
Mine grew back. I'm gonna send Schmeckel pictures.
That just made me imagine the equivalent of like a male cherry. Just imagine you had foreskin, and then it was just like a skin layer there. Oh, that'd be the worst.
No, dude, there's a cherry on the tip.
Oh no.
You don't remember that part? Man, it was there before you had sex, and then it fell off inside of her. That's why, if she was also a virgin, red stuff came out.
No, Will Honorless does have a good point. Brockus being the catcher does work, what with Leaf's cock.
I don't have
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, 5.5 inches.
That
Oh,
bulge was
we've
real,
all seen the
man.
bulge.
The bulge.
It was proof.
There's no shame in it.
The fuck was that? Pissed off a fucking, like, is that a squirrel?
I think your tea's ready.
Is that
Your tea is ready.
it sounded like a fucking. It sounded like a chipmunk accidentally sat on his balls.
Oof.
Something like that.
Oof.
Oof.
So Me Too is bullshit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely. I
Me
think
Too is cockamamie bullshit. There
I'll
it
go
was.
and be like, me too, hashtag me too on Corey Feldman, because he touched my childhood.
I think my main issue with the whole Me Too movement is just because it's fucking over more innocent people than guilty people. And I mean, the way we work in the United States, we'd rather let fucking 10 criminals go than put one innocent person in jail. At least that's how it's supposed to work.
It's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and so like, fucking, I can understand like being vocal about sexual assault and shit, but most of the
But you
shit
know what?
is
It's
just
Mr. LM that did it to you. You can't report him. He's a cool guy. Wait,
hey,
that's what you were.
I'm a
doing, right?
virgin here, man. Like the most I got was a fucking sad hand job. All right, so
I had a happy hand job.
Oh.
The guy didn't like it too much, but
Mr. LM002, a Leaf here is a virgin just like you. Would you like to throw your hat in the ring?
Jesus.
as I said, nothing goes in my asshole. That's the thing, and I don't know where you're gonna put that bulge, but
dude,
it ain't
she's
in me.
little. She's little. Schmeckle, you could probably stuff her into a like an air conditioning, like a box for an air conditioner wall unit.
Yeah, just
pack her
FedEx
in
her.
there and FedEx her to Mr. LM's front door.
Yeah, and it would be affordable. We could probably raise the money. Leaf, how do you like to lose your virginity to a guy that the only thing I know about him is he gives us money?
I'd rather hang myself.
But he gave me money.
That's rough, but I don't blame you.
You got told off by a lady that sounds like a littler lady.
Yeah, you gotta be careful there, Schmeckle. The way you word that is like
That was blatantly prostitution. Yeah, I heard it too.
Hey man, I live in Nevada. If I wanted to fuck a prostitute, I could have done it as soon as I turned 18.
Why would you want to?
The prostitutes have an
He
age
never
limit.
said he wanted to.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna fuck kids.
I mean,
18's the legal adult age.
good. Like first off, but I mean, like, do they ID?
Well, no shit.
Oh, you guys
No,
are talking
I-
about that Beaver
I
girl
mean,
earlier.
you know how many
Sorry.
horny bastards there
Just
are
that-
who got access to fucking daddy's credit card or some shit? They'd be, if they didn't ID, there'd be all these little fucking horny teenagers just fucking prostitutes, underage teenagers. No doubt about
Ooh,
that.
excuse me. Excuse me. Something extra almost came up with that. I don't know if it was audible.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. I felt that a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine.
It
It's fine.
sounded a little.
I think you rate.
It was a little bit of a wet burp, yes. But you guys were talking about that Asia chick, and what I was saying in the chat was that she met that guy on the set of a movie, Schmeckle,
When he was
when
like
he was 7 years old, and she continued to basically, she knew him for 10 more years. When he turned 17, she got him to have sex with her. There was an article that was shown earlier that this Asia chick claims that while they were having sex, she was numb to the entire situation. So, wink, wink, he raped her.
She
Is
was
that what
numb
they're?
the entire.
Yeah, she was
That's
numb
the
to the
thing.
sex. She didn't. She
While
couldn't.
she had sex with
had
the
her,
kid she grew.
He was on top of her, and she couldn't move, is what she's saying. And she's basically trying to turn it around as if he raped her
Oh, well, that's how they fucking do it. I mean,
without
There-
saying it yet.
I mean,
You know what? Maybe.
Well,
Maybe. She's
if-
being honest. Maybe he did rape her. Maybe this kid she groomed raped her.
The rapist got
maybe they
raped
are
by the
both.
raper.
I mean, it kind of sounds like
They said-
karma, but at the same time, it's fucked up no matter which way you spin it.
No, she's saying that now just to get the heat off her.
Oh yeah, that's
Big-
probably true. But I mean, even if
Yeah.
what she was saying is true, that sounds just like karma.
Oh
That's
yeah,
like
Yeah,
training a
it could
dog
be
to
that
bite
she-
people in the dick, and then it bites you in the dick one day.
yeah.
I mean, it could be that she's being honest.
I doubt it.
Or it could be that he's being honest.
Are we
There
ignoring
could
the
be
fact
one
that
or two shitty people in this situation.
it's
Either
probably both of them being shitty?
Oh, yeah.
There
probably.
was
There's
an
a hint of
adult grooming a child for a decade so she
There's a
could
hint
fuck
of that.
him.
Fucking 10 years. Oh, you
A
were hot.
decade.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Like,
If
what the fuck?
you groom a child, and that child grows up and rapes you, I don't feel bad for you. I
Right.
still
Yeah.
don't accept the rape. That's still
Schmeckle
bad,
said-
but I
like
don't
Schmeckle
feel
said,
bad for you.
Like Schmeckle just said, if you groom a child for 10 years, that makes them yours.
Yeah.
What?
I mean,
No,
yeah,
but
that's what he said, right?
she
God damn it,
groomed a kid for 10 years.
Yeah,
And this
for 10
all
years,
comes out right
she kept
after.
contact with him because they met
Yeah.
on the set of a movie, and then right after Anthony Bourdain died, or killed himself, they had somebody found out that this kid was paid off like $340,000 to keep his mouth fucking shut about them.
Oh, so this is the fucking chick who was dating Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she's claiming now that Anthony paid off the kid, and she had nothing to do with it.
Well, did you guys hear about like?
The photos
Porn.
released though of her with him. In
Yeah,
bed.
they had photos of them two laying down in bed that I guess were those sent from text messages or were they just pulled from a phone?
I don't even fucking know.
Either way, though, she said, if you look at the photos, you can't even see my breasts.
Well,
In other words, tried to say I wasn't naked.
well, did you guys hear the fucking the circumstances behind his suicide, Anthony Bourdain's suicide? Well,
He had a belt tied around his neck and was
well,
found
not
laying in
not
the closet.
specific. No, not specifically how he committed suicide, but why. Apparently, like 3 days before he committed suicide, long before that, apparently his family saying that he had an abusive relationship with this chick, and she was just like keeping him from his friends and from his family. And then, like 3 days before he committed suicide, he found or images surfaces on the web of hers dancing with some reporter in like Spain, and they're like making out and shit. And from what his family's been saying, it basically just devastated him. because he thought that she was really into him. They just loved each other greatly, but it looked like she was cheating on him, and so he just killed himself. And then she tried to play it off as some other shit. Like, honestly, I don't trust a word out of that cunt's mouth, just because it looked like she was just completely fucking over him the entire time. And then like she cheats on him and he figures out and he finally just couldn't take it anymore. And he's just been struggling with depression and shit for the longest amount of time. So she basically just took advantage of that shit. And then the whole situation around her and Harvey Weinstein, apparently after he raped her, according to her, she dated him for like another 2 years. It's like, you don't do that to somebody. Yeah, that's the fuck shit. Like, she says that he raped him, and then she was in a relationship with him for 2 years after that. She was in a relationship when she said it happened, and then she remained in that relationship, said nothing. What the fuck's going on with that?
Nope, that proves it. She raped him. She raped Harvey Weinstein.
Or he raped her, sorry. That's what I meant to say.
Nope, no. You didn't. What? No, I don't think you said that. You might have, but either way, I was making a joke.
Fair enough.
Obviously, she raped Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein raped Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider had consensual sex with Keanu Reeves.
Like, I'd say the overwhelming majority of like well-published Me Too shit is pretty fishy. Just because, like, hell, one of the Cosby accusers admitted that she made up the claim so she could sell more books about her life.
It wasn't
she like recently did
like 50 accusers, but like zero proof.
No,
for Cosby.
It's ridiculous. I mean, like, shit. Like, I feel like it's fucked up that now well, I mean, it's not just now, but it has happened. It's more common now than it was before, that you have to worry about like who you're fucking. And like recently, some guy he screwed this chick in college. Well, they're both in college, and he heard from his friends that she was like Me Tooing guys after consensual relationships. So he reported her to the fucking college for raping him before she could do it. And she got expelled, which is like one of the, or I don't think she got expelled, she got like kicked out, but it's one of the rare instances where it goes the other way around. But like,
I wouldn't have went that fucking route though. That's too legal. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's not too legal, just because with the fucking Title IX courts, all you have to do is make an accusation.
Title IX is fucked. And like I heard that the defendant doesn't get a chance to, like, his lawyer doesn't get the chance to, or her lawyer, whoever, doesn't get the chance to look over any of the evidence. All sorts of kind of shit when it comes to sorts of kind of shit.
Oh anyway. Yeah, it's a fucking kangaroo court. You have no right to an attorney. Your attorney does not have the right to question the accuser, and it doesn't have to be the person who is the victim of the sexual assault or rape who reports it. For example, I think it's UC Berkeley.
Watched it.
This girl and a guy had a consensual BDSM relationship.
Oh shit!
And while the girl was in class, one of her classmates noticed like bruises on her neck and arms.
I heard about this. You might have told me about it.
Yeah, and so that classmate reported this incident, or the supposed incident, to the Title IX, the person in charge of the Title IX for that particular college, and they expelled the guy, even though the girlfriend kept saying it was a consensual relationship. They fucking kicked him out because that was just how the shit went down. So it's like,
so it works, man.
Yeah, it's
you can't have no sex no more.
I mean,
that's why I duct tape all the chicks I have sex with mouth shut.
Oh, if they can't speak, they can't say no. There you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good thing.
Well, it gets to the point.
It's 3 no's. So what you do is, right at the second no, you take your sock off and you shove it in her mouth. That way it's still consensual. Because if she gets a third no out, it's rape after that.
Well, it gets to the point where it seems like the only way that you can ever safely and with confidence have sex with women, if you're a guy, is if you install secret cameras in your bedroom.
Nope, then it's revenge porn. That's the thing.
I think it's okay if you get a prostitute. I think
no. It's revenge porn if you post it online. If you're saving it for legal purposes, like you don't put anywhere. And she goes off to say he raped me and all that kind of stuff. And then, well, Your Honor, I mean, how can you you can understand why I'd be a bit confused. She kept saying yes, 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 and here's the proof.
Under the way that the laws are structured, like if you release that porn to somebody, even if it's a judge, you can get fucked over by the revenge porn laws. I mean,
No,
I
it's
heard
got to be to an audience.
Yeah,
A judge
the
is an
porn
audience.
aspect. Well, no. Well, yeah, it would be an
No, a
audience, but you can.
larger audience. It's
and
got to
then
be like
there's also
100
like
people.
recording without conversation or without consent.
Well,
Like depends on the state
law,
too.
Yeah, that law doesn't apply to every state. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not all the way around. You have to find out if that applies in your area. On top of that, it varies. Like you can request, like, judge, I have some evidence, I'd like to present it to you, but if there's a jury, I doubt there'd be a jury. Most of these things don't require it, so it's entirely possible you can do that, but it might be the only safest route to go about.
I think you're fucked no matter which way you put it. Basically, I mean,
you can
No,
depending on.
it's
with the
like if
revenge
you don't
porn
get.
shit,
Oh, go
it's
ahead.
got to be like a certain amount of people that it's available to. That's why I knew that Sarah never had a chance when she kept claiming she was going to get me for revenge porn.
Fair enough. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
like 20 people fucking told me
I think
what's what on that.
even if you win in the court, like the legal courts, you're most likely going to lose out in the court of public opinion. Even if like it is
Yeah, the court of
proven
public opinion is far more detrimental to the person who's looked down upon.
And especially if your shit becomes publicized, you're fucked. Like because even if it's if it bleeds, it leads basically. So if you're like, oh, this guy raped X amount of people or raped this girl, and and they make a big story out of it, and then they figure out, oh, that guy actually never did any of that shit. The news sites aren't likely going to report that because it's not going to get clicks.
Well,
and
did
so
you hear about,
what's going to happen
Kevin
is
Spacey?
next time that guy goes to a fucking job interview, they're going to type in his name and it's going to be like, oh, the rapist. And they're going to have to go through like 20 pages of Google before they figure out, oh, he actually didn't do shit. And they're just going to look at the first page and be like, no, we're not giving this guy a job.
Did you guys hear what happened to Kevin Spacey? He recently released a movie, and on opening weekend, the movie made $128. That's it. $128, and I think the name of it might have something to do with it. It's Billionaire Boys Club starring Kevin Spacey. It's Billionaire Boys Club, and I'm like, seriously, that's the movie you decide to put out after you were accused of trying or molesting a young boy, and then coming out and being like, oh, I only did it because I'm gay. Nobody's gonna want to watch Billionaire Boys Club, and it's pretty obvious because $128 opening weekend for somebody with his kind of star power or used to be star power.
Well, it sounds to me like that's a single theater showing because there's
it's possible.
Like even like I think one of the worst movies out there that went out for like the most mass theaters, big budget kind of thing. I think they only.
I mean, I didn't hear about that film, so like, I think that's just a fault on their own. I mean, I bet even if Kevin Spacey was convicted as a rapist, people would still watch his films, like the new shit.
Yeah, it was probably
it's
at least partially bad advertising, but
like it sounds like something like a limited theater release shit.
Horrible fucking title.
Yeah, horrible title, limited release, and no commercials. At least nowhere that I could notice.
Billionaire Boys Club. Hey, Schmeckle, you want to go watch Billionaire Boys Club? Fucking Kevin Spacey's in it. I swear it's not a gay porn.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Somebody comes up to me and asks, you want to go watch Billionaire Boys Club? I'm probably going to stop hanging out with that person.
Yeah.
That sounds like they're asking me to go watch child porn.
It does, doesn't it? With Kevin Spacey, and then you're like, oh, and with Kevin Spacey? Delete my number out of your contacts, motherfucker.
I mean, honestly, I think like if you're ever in a Me Too scenario, you're basically fucked, guarantee. I think like if it's a small time deal where it doesn't get any publicity whatsoever, you can probably like move to a different town after you're found like innocent and probably start over. But like once it gets online, I mean, you're probably fucked. And but even like before Me Too, if you were like called a rapist in a small town, even before the internet, if you were like called a rapist and you were found to be innocent, people are still going to think you're a rapist in your town. So,
It's happened to a lot of the guys that have been kicked out of college and then found to not be guilty.
Yeah, it's just
now.
That sounds like one of the most marked pieces of American history, and that would be the Salem witch trials.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That's basically the same fucking thing.
And like the Salem witch trials, what stopped that was people started suing, started taking them to court for all these stupid things that they were doing and saying.
What happened?
Well, yeah, actually,
wow.
that did.
I didn't even know that.
But because here's the thing, it's easy enough to convict people who can't afford lawyers or all that kind of stuff. The reason why the Salem witch trial stopped is because they started accusing richer people with money. And then they started saying, well, fuck this, and they lawyered up. So, yeah.
I mean, I don't think that would work today just because it's...
Well, it is. I mean, people who have been kicked out of colleges and universities, these kids, they're suing these colleges. And they're losing.
They're suing, and the colleges are losing, and the colleges are losing, but in truth, the kids are not winning because...
Well, they are, because... Look,
well, no, they're winning in that court case, but what Mr. Lowen is saying is that they have to live with that stain on their reputation for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and I mean, like, say, for example, you want to work at McDonald's. It's like, is it really worth all the drama that it would come with to hire this one person who was accused of rape, even though they're innocent, for a fucking, an $8 an hour job, or just hire the next fucking schmuck? So unless they have already like a really good skill set that's high in demand, or like something like that they can fucking just like, they're not just some average schmuck. They're basically fucked because they're not going to have the money unless they have a bunch of money from their parents or to go to get a trade skill. Like small time jobs aren't going to want to hire them because they don't want to catch the flack, even if they are innocent.
Mm-hmm. Because the people who have heard about the case are going to jump to the conclusion that that person was guilty just because it was in the headlines.
Yeah, and because the headlines aren't going to report on, they're found innocent, because it's not...
Well, they might, but it's not going to be front page.
Yeah.
So what happens with a lot of these things is that it sets a precedent. Mm-hmm. So when you start winning one, then you start, it sort of sets the standard for how how these cases are measured in the future things. And it could also lead to other future things. So, like, let's say you're right. What if it gets on the news, and what if people start talking about this person as so and so and so and so? And he goes to court, he sues the colleges, and whatever else, and he wins. What's going to end up happening? Yeah, but hold on a second. But what's going to happen if that in that case is that because the court's found that way, he can go to the news anchors and sue them and force them to have an apology and issue a redaction of the statement that they made. So yes, you're right. If they look up this person's name, they're going to see found guilty or whatever else, but then they're also going to see retracted information. You can do this.
You can do it, but it's like, for example, if you have enough money, if you have enough money, you can do that shit. If you don't, you're fucked.
There's another benefit. Sorry.
Yeah. There was a college girl that accused multiple guys of like raping her. I think it was behind a fucking
mattress girl. You're talking about
yeah.
Oh yeah, that turned out to be completely false.
Yeah, it was false allegations, but the guys who were accused were thrown out of that college and not allowed to return.
After they're found innocent.
Well, hold on. No, he was found innocent, and he didn't get kicked out of college, but he wanted the college
case.
No, but they wanted the guy wanted the college to stop this girl from going around with this mattress because she's portraying that this guy is a rapist and so, even though he is not. And so
you guys were talking about the mattress on the chick had on her back then.
I'm thinking about a different chick.
Me too.
In this story, I'm thinking about this chick was she did basically an Eiffel Tower with two football players in the football locker room, and she liked a guy, and she wanted to date this guy, but not one of them. It was a different
guy. Yeah,
it was a different guy, and she wanted to like be with that guy, but she didn't want her reputation of being a slut coming out, so she accused those guys of rape, and they figured out she's bullshitting. after they kicked the guys out, and they refused to let those guys go back to the college. Even
That's the one I'm
after
talking
she went to jail, and I think she got like 3 months of like in jail
Well, see,
and
part
like
of the reason that
community service.
Was that the same girl that was their reasoning she got? Or no, that was another girl. There's another girl who got out of a jail sentence because she was, I think, studying for medical school.
Oh yeah, that's in
Europe.
Britain.
That's in Britain.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, this is an American case though with
Yeah.
the football kids, and like Mr. Ellen said, she liked one kid. She didn't want him to know she was a slut. But the thing about it was, one of the biggest reasons they found out she was a liar is because there were other guys who had sex with her in groups that came forward and were like, well, we had consensual fucking three-way with this chick, and our buddies did too, and our buddies did too. Like it kept going.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
in college, I know like people like to say when you're 18 you're an adult. Yeah, sure, but you're not fucking grown up yet. Like they say your mind doesn't stop developing till you're 25. Like at least like it doesn't grow. Like you're still kind of building it basically. And fucking basically colleges, you get a bunch of fucking kids who are fresh out of high school who usually don't know fuck all. They're taking drugs, they're fucking drinking, smoking, doing all sorts of shit.
Yeah,
and then
they
they're
eat a lot of
fucking
crack.
and
Crazy.
and these people don't have fucking fully developed minds yet, and they're still worried about bullshit like drama. Like this chick, she is worried about how this guy was going to feel about her fucking a bunch of guys. I mean, that's a fair worry, but that doesn't mean you should fucking accuse them of rape, innocent people of raping you so you can save
Exactly.
face. But she's a dumb
Cunt.
young kid. Yeah, basically. a
Quite
cunt.
awful.
And
Yeah.
so like I feel like people trust people way too much when it comes to like one night stands and shit. And it's biting people in the ass. And
Yeah, dude, I never wear a condom for one night stands. We're not talking about that, are we?
Well, you shoot insulin anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, that's it.
Kumara in the
Back.
chat says, I like fucking nips. And I'm not sure if he's talking about nipples or his Japanese girlfriend.
I mean, I don't think we've reached anime levels of nipple penetration yet. So I'm going to go with
Oh God. Ew.
fucking Chinese or Asian slant eyes, whatever you want to call them.
Slant eyes.
Hey, I'm Asian, so I can make that joke. I'm not very Asian, but I'm Asian nonetheless.
I think maybe it's more to do with how we're teaching people to deal with life than it is people's brains still growing, because the 80s and the 90s had just as many people in college doing drugs and everything else, and they were still able to go get jobs and think fairly rationally. I mean, we had people that went to college in the 60s and 70s and did the same stuff too. And they were all fairly capable of thinking rationally and running the country and doing all those things that they're supposed to do.
I mean,
And
it kind of
suddenly now, people at 18 seem to be incapable of balancing a fucking checkbook.
well, yeah. Some of that is just how people are raised, and another, I think, two really good bits of that are the internet and how good drugs are now and how widely available they are. Because I mean, besides like LSD, everything else was really shit quality back in the day for the most part. Like LSD, when it first came out, people were just taking huge dosages,
Yeah,
like something
know.
that'd be equivalent to like 100 tabs, and they just trip their fucking minds. I mean, like,
I know.
and so like now
Right.
there's all these drugs that are very widely available. You have the internet, and the internet, like, you have all these people who like treat the internet like fucking, it's like high school. It's like you have all the drama bullshit, and I want to be popular. I want people to like me, but it's not people actually liking you. It's you're putting on a fucking facade so you can get like likes.
I never did that. I told everybody to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, that's
And
where
went
I was at
home,
too.
And I smoked weed with my parents, and I had fun.
Never
watched
did
Dragon
that
Ball
latter,
Z.
but
Smoked weed with your parents.
I did.
Yeah, I never
smoked
did
weed with
that,
my
but
parents,
all
and
the
I
more
watched Dragon
credit
Ball
to you,
Z, and I didn't do my homework, and I went to school the next day and fell asleep on the desk every day, and my teachers were cool with it. It was a fun little school we had going. Most of my teachers were actually on pot, so it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, the high school I went to was like less than 300 people, I think, in it, and so
Dude, we had
like
like
if
750.
Oh yeah, if like anything got said to anybody in that school except for a select few individuals, it would be throughout that school within the day. So
Yeah.
like there's all sorts of drama bullshit that went on there. And
Oh no, not my
oh
high
yeah.
school.
Oh, it's fucking it was horrible for most people. I didn't put up with that shit. I think like within the first week I was there, some guy was fucking with me, and so I just choke slammed him onto a table in the lunchroom, and just people stopped fucking with me after that.
I got choked.
Are you the one, Mr. LM, that's only like 19 years old?
Yep.
Dude, that's weird because you know what happened? I got choke slammed onto a fucking lunch table when I was in high school. You bastard. You bastard. I didn't even do anything. I was just trying
Oh
to
no,
sell you weed.
it
You
wasn't.
asshole.
Oh, it wasn't one of
Such an
that.
asshole.
For me, what happened was this guy in front of me in the lunch line. He had a highlighter in his hand, but I didn't know it was a highlighter. And he turned around real quick and like jabbed it at me. And last school I went to, like people used to carry knives and shit. And so I was kind of like I was on edge constantly. And first week of the school, I was like expecting the exact same thing. And so this guy like lunges at me, and I just like sidestepped him, and then like put one hand on his arm and the other one on his throat, and I just slammed him into the table. I said, I just looked him right in the eyes and said, "You don't do that anymore." And I let go, and he started crying, and I got suspended for like
You ruined
week
that
and a half.
kid, man. He's never gonna get laid.
Hey, he's a much
Crying
better
every
kid
morning.
now. He used to be a little cunt, but after that, he kind of like he got way better behaved. But
You're gonna run into him one day, and he's gonna have like scars and shit all over his face. You'll be like, what happened to you? And it's gonna be like, this guy, I don't remember his name, but he chokeslammed me into a table when I was in high school, and ever since then, man.
oh no, man, I didn't. I made sure I didn't hurt him, but like, I was just like, I ain't fucking dealing with this shit, man. Like,
He's like somebody's anal slave. Check Schmeckel's basement.
God. But no, I mean, yeah, like the internet has led to a whole fucking like drama culture, and like people want to fit in. I mean,
yeah,
people
I
have
was
always
thinking
wanted to
about
fit
this,
in, but like people
I
want to
was-
fit in even more now, and
I was
they just
thinking
say
about this
whatever they want.
the other night, right? And what I came up with is that there's basically a couple of different groups on the internet, obvious fuckingly, but there's different age ranges, right? And some of the people were born basically with the internet, you know, like they grew
Yeah.
up, the internet was there.
Yeah,
But
that's
now
me.
you got these guys and ladies and shit that were grown up by the internet. You know,
Yeah,
just like they claim that my generation was raised by TV, a lot of these younger people are raised by the internet.
The internet, yeah.
oh, I
and-
think it's going to be
or
even
with
worse,
different
like with the generation after mine, man. Just because like these kids are being raised with like $1,000 iPhones at 5 years old, and like they just have all these apps and shit that they play, or like games they play on like little tablets, and these games
yeah.
aren't like meant for kids to like develop. They're just to
Right.
keep them occupied and to buy fucking in-game
can't-
currency and
dude,
shit.
I play Xbox. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a game lobby and heard somebody that was still going goo goo gaga, and it was fucking. They were playing the game, and it's like, God damn it! Why is this fucking
Yeah,
year-old
them and
kid-
squeakers, man.
Yeah. Like look, when my nephew was younger, at some point he apparently got a hold of his grandmother's his other grandmother, not my mom, but his nana, his dad's mom. Anyway, he got a hold of her credit card, right? And he spent something like $1,250 on a
Holy
game called Wizard
shit.
101.
Oh god. Yeah.
I know of that game.
I mean
Yeah.
I've heard some fucking examples where like I think a guy
Done yet,
his
too.
kid spent over 20 grand in like in-game currency for a game where they just
Yeah.
feed fish.
So
And I was like, it was on the news. I was like, what the fuck?
if
I'm
I,
like-
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, this is gonna sound a little misogynistic coming from me and all that kind of stuff, but I think that the best thing that's gonna help these kids out is to have mothers go back and be stay-home moms. Because I think,
and dad's coming home and getting fucking belt out.
well, that could add for future things. I think that the part of the problem that we're facing is that most households, both parents go off and work, and as such, they lack the energy or the enthusiasm to take care of their kids. And I think this happened back in the I want to say 80s, 90s, because we had the same problem then. The parents would put their kids in front of the TV and use the TV as a substitute for babysitting.
Yeah.
And then like the 90s and 2000s came about, and it was video games. And now we're in the 2000s, and now it's cell phones. I mean, it's the same thing. What I think should be emphasized is probably a traditionalist mindset. I think it's going to solve a lot of problems, but unfortunately, I don't know if society would agree with that, just because things are so expensive to buy.
Yeah.
You almost need both parents to go out, and I don't think that's good, and I don't think it's appropriate.
No, it isn't. Our economy is far too unstable to sustain single income households anymore. The cost of living has just shot through the roof.
And it's
insane.
It's not that society wouldn't go that way. I'm sorry, I'm rambling a lot. I think a lot of mothers wouldn't mind that. I think they wouldn't mind staying home and taking care of the kids. In fact, I think the idea of having, like, they might hire a nanny or something, but I think the idea of having a stranger raise your kid for you is a rather uncomfortable one for a lot of mothers in particular.
Oh yes, absolutely. That's why I stay home. Sorry, what?
I actually lost a friend because I was explaining how women who have careers are not as happy as stay-at-home moms, and she was a career chick, which I didn't know. She wigged out on me saying I.
Women kind of fucked themselves over when they started. When women started leaving the household, they kind of screwed themselves over.
Trippy, shut your goddamn mouth!
And then, like,
Trippy,
when Leaf talks,
shut the fuck
We
up.
all got to start interrupting, right? We're not going to stop.
Anyways, no. So this chick.
now, Strackle, now.
Trippy,
Go ahead.
I was talking about the chick that flipped out on me. Anyway, she's mad because I pointed out that career women aren't as happy as stay-at-home moms, and that's just a fact. It's accurate. There was a study done, the decline of female happiness that pointed out.
Yeah, sorry. People who work are less happy than people who don't, because working sucks.
She said it's accurate.
Despite the fact that career moms are not as happy as stay-at-home moms or whatever, women who work part-time are actually happier than both.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess like getting out of the house and shit,
fucking hard.
Oh yeah, it probably honestly has like a little benefit to it, to be perfectly honest. I mean, of course you're bringing kids in the world, that's nice and all, but I mean, they can't really do much, at least in the younger years. And so, like, at least with the job, you feel like you're
in front of the TV.
Yeah, well, at least with like a part-time job, depending on the job, you feel like you're accomplishing something, and it's something besides the grind of raising kids.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, they get to get out of the house. They get to be fulfilled by having a child in their life.
I think that women also enjoy challenging themselves and doing things like working and maybe even a slight career, but for a lot of women, I mean, like, they have to get all their important stuff out of the way, and that's why, like, women need to have kids when they're young, like sometime in their 20s. That way, once the kids are old enough to go off to daycare and all that or school or whoever else, that'll free up your time to do work related stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet most of you guys are going to disagree with me on this point, but they say on average to raise a kid in the United States, it costs about $1 million over the 18 years of their lifetime.
Only if you calculate in buying them 2 new cars and paying for their college.
Yeah. Well, you could do it for cheaper, sure. But
it's expensive to raise kids, yes.
It's an average, yeah.
It's ridiculous. So I expect there's going to be 2 groups of people: the people who really save money and the people who expect to do all the same shit that their parents did, and they go into debt, and they're either going to fuck over their kids with their debt, or they're going to get fucked over by their own debt. Because go ahead.
The boomers were the first generation to hand America off to Gen X. They were the first generation to not have the economy be improved, not have steady growth, and actually for it to be harder for middle-class families to survive at all.
Honestly,
they were the first generation to do it since America started.
Honestly, I'm just I'm kind of spitballing here, but I honestly believe that that whole tiny house movement is really gonna like take off.
Yeah,
Just because it's
probably.
so much cheaper to build a tiny house or have one built and live in it. Because like
The
Fuck yeah,
fuck's
like
I'm
a
like
tiny
6 foot
house?
tall, man.
okay, basically they're like less than 500 square foot houses, and they
Mhm.
are extremely cheap to build, own. Most of them are off grid. Those that aren't off grid have like minimal electronic shit and like things to go wrong
Oh,
with them.
and you can build it in a tree.
Oh, you can build them in a tree. You can build them as trailers. I think like trailer parks are gonna kick
You can do
off
all
again,
sorts
and they're gonna actually there's actually gonna be good trailer parks. They're not gonna all be like fucking really shitty.
Actually, I do have an aunt that has like a. This is no surprise to anybody. I've got an aunt that's got a double wide,
Yeah.
and her trailer park's actually quite nice. All you
Oh
really
yeah,
got to do is once you pay off your trailers, you just got to pay for the land after that.
yeah. Well, I mean, like trailers that you buy now, like RVs, they are ridiculously fucking expensive. Like I've seen
Oh
some
yeah,
like really, really small ones that are like really pushing it when it comes to like roughing it, and they're like 10 grand. And that's I mean, if you build your own tiny house, which it requires minimal kind of experience, you could build a trailer for like I'd say like a 500 square foot trailer for like 5 grand if you get the necessary experience. And like I've seen people build fixed tiny houses for $500.
mm-hmm.
They go to like junkyards and shit and get like or go to like places where people are throwing out scrap steel and whatever, and they'll make their shit. And I feel like, well, I mean, America's kind of a land of excess where like people want all this shit. And I mean, you see those shows like Hoarders and whatever, where like people just have all sorts of shit. I mean, even like the people who aren't considered hoarders, usually we all have too much shit. I mean, I have too much shit to a degree, but I try to cut
It's
back
like
on that
George
stuff.
Carlin used to say: you get too much shit, and then you move into a bigger house so that you can buy some more shit.
Yeah. And I mean, with the whole tiny house movement, when you start out with a really small house, generally these tiny houses are, I really like them because they're really space efficient, and they usually have like multi functionality to them where like given pieces of furniture perform multiple tasks instead of just a singular one. So you
Yeah.
make the most of your space. And
Yeah, like a fucking stove that folds out with a ironing board
yeah,
or something.
I mean, there's all sorts of shit. And with I mean, I've read plenty of tiny house articles where people they just put it in their parents' backyard. They just live in their parents' backyard. They're in a separate house, but they're on the same piece of property, and it's I think that's the way it's going to go for the people who are going to have like successful lives. You can only fit so much shit in a tiny house, so people aren't going to be spending tons of money on things of excess, at least not big things. And with the tiny house, they're smaller, so it costs less to heat. I
They're
mean,
brutal in the summer. If you live in an area that's hot, tiny houses can be really rough if you
oh,
don't
oh,
have a good air conditioning system.
well, it depends on how you build them, because I mean, some houses are better than others when it comes to natural cooling, and I mean, if you like study the right shit and you build it right, you can build a pretty damn good all season, a pretty damn good all season tiny house. So it's like also the trailers you can take like say during the summer you can if you have a tiny house on a trailer you can drive it out or pay somebody to drive it out to a different place that where it's cooler.
Okay. That's not how most tiny houses work. For the most part, tiny houses are things that have they're being reused and turned into something they weren't originally. I know there's a whole new line of houses, but that wasn't what I was saying. I was just saying they can be a bitch to keep cool because they're small, and that's just physics.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I mean, no,
Well-
it takes less time to heat up a small space than it does to heat up a large space. And
You
so
just set
I mean,
a pile of corpses on the floor, light that pyre on fire, and heat up your whole house. But I gotta go fake an orgasm on stream, guys.
already.
Oh, go do
Over
it,
on
dude.
Munafest. Catch
We'll
y'all
see how
later.
that goes.
Later.
But I mean, like,
He's going from a stream with one trap to a stream with a different trap. What a day for Trippy.
indeed.
She's my favorite trap.
Leaf is right here, Atama.
Sorry, Leaf, you can't hold a candle to lo-fi. Lo-fi is
Sorry.
best waifu.
She's Bay waifu. She's Superwoman.
I think Leaf's dick is bigger.
I mean, for me, I ain't worried about that.
You're
I mean,
Asian.
if you're into traps, I figure you're into cocks. So
I
on a
would
second.
not. I feel like
Mr.
a smaller cock's what you would want.
Mr. LM002, didn't you say you were Asian? Shouldn't
Yes.
you be concerned about size?
Hey, I ain't packing anything special down there. Just about average.
Okay, fair enough.
Average or Asian average?
Average, American average. I said I'm partially Asian, but I'm also British. So I'm British, Chinese, Mexican, Portuguese, German, French, Swiss, Spanish.
It
Like,
must have been a disgusting orgy this.
yeah, that's what I've been saying. It's like you get a bunch of world leaders together and you leave them in a room long enough, and eventually something like me would pop out.
Sounds like your mom was one of those translators at the UN.
No, I just small bits of all of them. I mean, let's see. On my dad's side, it's the German, French, and Swiss and Chinese, and then on my mom's side, it's the Mexican, Spanish, British, and Portuguese. Yeah, but no, I mean, I think the tiny house movement is probably gonna like really take off in the future just because of how cheap it is to buy a house. Like, just imagine, Speckle, you buy a house for fucking $5,000. I don't know, like you're renting out your house, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you. I mean,
I'm renting it. I'm not renting it out.
Oh yeah, you're renting it. But I mean, like, what you'd probably spend at least $5,000 on a year renting your house.
There is
Right?
a negative side to all this.
I'd say.
Oh
more,
yeah,
I'd say more than $5,000.
exactly. Just imagine you could have a house for $5,000. I mean, there are negatives, obviously. Everything in life is a double-edged sword. It cuts both ways. So, I mean, there's no clean way to get, there's never a entirely positive gain from anything in life. So it's just, what are you willing to live with and what are you willing to live without? I mean,
But, yeah, okay, and then you start. It's not just what you live with and without, and it's not just the philosophical aspect. There are real life consequences to the tiny house movement. One is we're going to have an overabundance of garbage because people aren't going to be able to store things in their houses like they used to. Or what you're going to see is tiny houses and giant garages next to things, which will just be hilarious. It also, look at Japan. They've gone to a minimalist society where they focus on work and just paying the bills, and that's all they focus on. And now their entertainment industry is dying. The only thing supporting it is video games. People aren't going out and doing anything, and it's killing their economy.
Yeah. Well, it's also probably killing the fucking birth rate as well. But I mean, as I said, everything in life's a double-edged sword. It's like, I feel like the birth rate it's going to go down naturally anywho, because I mean, people can't afford to have kids, really. I mean, you can, but you're going to be probably on government benefits. Your kids they're going to be using a lot of the same clothes over and over again. They're going to probably be eating horribly, et cetera, et cetera. And it's only going to get worse, I feel like, with the furtherance of automation. I mean, most of the fast food jobs can be done by people at McDonald's, or can be done by robots, and shit. And then with the advent of the minimum wage, you basically lost apprenticeships. You got internships, but it's with an internship, you're basically hemorrhaging money in order to become an intern, because you got to pay for travel expenses, and then all that time you're being an intern, you're not working anywhere. Whereas before the minimum wage, you would get paid a small amount, maybe $4 to $6 an hour to learn how to do a job. And then once you've learned how to do it, you could start making the full wage. And so I feel like eventually people are just going to they're going to die out, or they're going to move to groups like the tiny house movement and minimalist groups, because they don't really have the money to spend on lots of things of excess. I mean, tiny houses have plenty of drawbacks.
I don't, but I really don't see it catching on anytime soon.
I mean, perhaps not now, but I expect it could, just because you can have a house and have no debt associated with that house unless you're
Well,
broke,
I
and
think.
then go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say. I think that I think that it could pick up, but I don't think it will last.
Well,
I
no,
think.
because it's only for old people.
Well, no, young people.
Really, it is.
Well, yeah, it should be, but I don't see it being that way. I know that my grandmother has well, she had a tiny house, but even she couldn't keep that financially secured. Which it tells you, like, there are limits to these things, obviously. I was just gonna say, like, if it did grow as a movement and attention was being brought to it, I foresee that it would actually get lower. I think that the government might set in with subsidies and other kinds of stuff to try and prevent that kind of thing from happening.
Oh yeah, I bet they would fucking completely fuck over the whole tiny house movement in general once it started to kick on, because housing would suddenly get cheaper. Fucking tons of construction companies would likely go out of business because they're not building the big ass houses they were before. Old bigger houses aren't going to be there. The whole market for them would fucking go in the shitter, just because people wouldn't be buying them because they can't afford them, and so they just sit there and kind of rot, I suppose. But I feel like it can go both ways. I don't expect the tiny house movement to pick up, but I feel like it's a pretty logical way to go if you just need a place to live and you don't have a lot of money, because I mean,
well, they're already doing it in Orange County, and it doesn't seem to be working as well as they thought it would.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You got to kind of evolve as a person before you can. I say that loosely. I mean, you got to evolve as a person to live with less, sort of thing, because most people expect so much out of their lives. I mean, we're fucking spoiled when it comes. I mean, United States. Everybody in the United States is in the top 1% of the world. That's saying something. And even like the average really poor person in the United States has 2 cars and can go on like week-long vacations and shit.
No, we've never been able to do that. And we only have 1 car.
Well, I'm saying the average in the United States. I'm not saying the poorest. I'm saying the average.
We also have the largest personal debt to income ratio in the world too. So yeah, that.
Oh no shit. That's why I'm saying the fucking. That's why I'm saying the damn fucking tiny house movement might be the way to go, just because like a tiny house can cost less than a year's worth of rent. If you can get the money to build it and you can get the property to put it on, you can have a house for a ridiculously low amount of money, and electric costs, fucking like gas and water, depending on how you do it, can be much, much cheaper.
Yes, okay, they can be cheaper. But I'm telling you right now, the niche market for these tiny homes, whether they're converted in cities from pallets or storage containers and stuff like that, or whether they're built in the country on a little teeny tiny spot with a septic system and that's it, they are mostly boomers that are buying them and hipsters. Excuse me. People that are not looking to procreate. They are the least breeding people.
Oh yeah. Well, I heard you talking about the breeding issue on, I think it was Penoid's stream.
Oh God, yeah.
Well,
that crazy MGTOW.
Well, anyway, I was watching it. I mean, there are good points made, I think, on both sides, but like, I think the breeding issue is, I mean, yeah, most people, if you can't afford to have kids, you're not going to have kids unless you're an idiot, and in that case, you're fucked. I mean, and your kids are probably fucked too.
Well, if you went strictly by being able to afford kids, that would mean the vast majority of people who have had kids shouldn't have had kids.
Yeah, probably true. And I mean, I know a guy who
society. You want a society without risk.
I'll be totally honest here. I understand the logic behind that of like, you might as well wait till you get more financially secure to have kids. The problem with that idea is that it usually means you have to wait till your 30s. And if you wait till your 30s, any kids that you would have will not be as healthy as they should be. Kids, the best age to start having kids are when you're young, in your 20s.
23.
Yeah, 23. I mean, something like that. I mean, if you wait till you're older, like now that I'm older, I kind of want kids. Problem is, though, is that if I do, there's a higher risk of autism and that kind of stuff. And if I got like a girlfriend or whatever to have kids with, and she was also in her 30s, there's a very high chance she might not survive the pregnancy. It's not if you wait to financially security, no one's going to have kids, and it's a very bad society to live in if you do have that health wise, because then they also have other health issues as they get older. It'd be a very unhealthy society.
Well, I'm just saying, I've seen some fuck situations. Like, I got a friend who I think he has like 8 brothers and sisters who are all adopted, and the parents just all the only reason they have the kids is just to rake in the fucking child's or the fucking payments from the state to them, and they get the more money because due to the more kids. And these kids have like maybe 4 shirts and 4 pairs of pants each, and they're just eating shit food and they're half starved.
Yeah,
and that's what and like shit like that. I feel like if you can't take care of a child, you shouldn't be fucking in the first place. Just because if you get stuck with a kid, like for example, if I knocked up a chick and she wanted to keep the kid, I have no fucking authority in that scenario.
Well, but that's a governmental issue, and I understand why you say that. That's a very measured response, and I agree with that. But there again, I mean, biology will always play a factor, and it's never going to happen. I mean, people are going to have kids, or they're going to have sex, regardless. There's nothing you can do to stop that. It's just going to happen. You can try your best to educate young people to
chastity belts.
This is retarded. No. If you're saying that people have to be able to afford kids to have kids, there aren't going to be any more kids.
Yeah.
Period.
And
Telling everybody they have to plan and prepare to have kids, that's part of the reason Western fertility rates is declining. It's because everybody thinks, oh, you need to wait till you're more this, that, and everything else to have kids. No,
you should fucking
you're
wait
defying
until
your own
you can.
motherfucking biology.
I can see the argument there. You should wait until you can, support the kid you pump out.
Well, okay, yes, you should be able to support the child, but saying that you have to wait, that everybody has to wait till they have kids is stupid because it's not how it's going to work. You're telling people to ignore their biology and just go on this logical path when, have you looked at the fucking internet, Schmeckle? People are dramatic and emotional and impulsive by nature. How the fuck are you going to convince them to wait to have kids when they can't even ignore the impulse to tell somebody that they're wrong on the fucking internet?
That doesn't mean that there's not things that they should do.
Well, and also, I mean, there's another effect to having kids. You eventually, like, you're going to be stuck with a large burden of responsibility. And when people would have kids and they're younger is when they get motivated to get jobs and go out there and get careers and build themselves in some way, because you have a couple mouths you got to feed. And often not, if you wait till you have kids or any of that kind of stuff, you're going to find out that you have a lot of people who don't want to go out and get work. Why would you? You're happy enough working at your minimum wage job. You got your rent paid, you got your video games, you got your everything else that you want. I mean, if you wait, then there's no responsibility. And without responsibility, there's no progress.
Yeah, there's no growth of the person. That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's
I mean, growth of the person is what I'm saying as well. I'm just saying that even if they're stupid enough to have kids in their 20s, they will then, perk up in the whole thing of responsibility and getting money, because that's what you need to do to support those mouths and those feeds. And that's part of the reason why you also have a lot of young men right now who aren't having kids. They're working minimum wage jobs. Most young men are not working high-paying jobs as much as they used to. And this is exactly the problem. They need to grow, and our society is the worst for it because we don't have, good job people out there.
Well, this is there are many issues with this whole thing that have led to a declining birth rate, but I mean there are some big ones like One is like the way that CPS or Child Protective Services has been weaponized to the point where, like, if you spank a kid, you can get the fucking cops called on you and
Yep.
have your kid taken away.
Yeah.
Or in Canada, if you don't get pay for their
No,
transition
I'm gonna be
hormones
honest.
and shit. But
I think if you have to hit your kid, you're a weak parent.
Well, I
I
know.
think,
but
hey, I was a mean little
I think
bastard
it-
when I was little,
I think
man.
it
I'm
depends on the
glad my parents
child.
spanked the shit out of me because,
I
like,
think it
from,
depends on the child.
yeah, I mean, some people are more prone to being violent or rude or asshole-ish and or all the above categories than others. Some kids are really easy.
Maybe my kid just behaves or some shit. But I mean,
I mean,
I've never had to hit her. I had
well,
to raise my voice.
Well, to be fair, Schmeckle, you have a little girl. Girls are a lot more well behaved than boys.
No,
I guarantee.
not necessarily.
No, not necessarily. No, but boys.
no.
Look,
I got 3 daughters and 1 son. My easiest kid was my son.
well,
Let's think about what fucking sex is in general. It's basically you're fucking taking 2 bits of DNA and you're basically just playing the fucking roulette wheel to see how it comes out. It could come out with fucking 4 legs and like three eyeballs and 2 dicks.
yes.
Or it could come out normal, or it could come out fucking Down syndrome, or any sorts of shit. So it's basically just a fucking guessing game how the fuck it's going to come out. Sure, there will be certain facial features and like kind of genetic shit that gets passed with, but you're basically just gambling with DNA and seeing what the fuck pops out at the end of it. It's a mix and match, and so God knows how the kid's going to turn out, how they're going to be tempered, whether they're going to be more prone to violence or other things than others. And I mean, that's the problem with that's a problem with how we've kind of tamed nature for the most part. Because back in the day, if you had like a retarded kid, they wouldn't survive that long because they would just get fucking killed by something. Or if you had a kid who was paralyzed from the waist down, they're not going to fucking survive that long. And now that we have a comfortable life where we've basically gotten rid of Mother Nature, we haven't gotten rid of it, but we've extremely limited Mother Nature's ability to fucking eliminate weak groups, individuals from the food chain. And I mean, fuck, if it was back then, I probably sure as fuck would have died because I got fucking lung issues and I can't run worth a fuck. So
Yeah, you sound like the type of guy who can't run worth a fuck. Sorry, go on.
Well, anyway, I mean, because we've gotten rid of like fucking natural selection for the most part, you have all these kind of bad genes that go on and get passed on, and it only fucking snowballs from there and just gets worse and worse and worse. And eventually, we're just going to be so fucking helpless that, and with the way that technology is advancing and how automation is basically going to take over most every job, but if some shit were to happen, for example, there's natural EMPs that occur from solar flares, and we haven't had a major one in about like 300 years, or no, 200 years. If a major one were to occur late in the future, where everything is fucking automated and it wiped out modern electronics, it wouldn't surprise me if 90 something% of the human race would die out, because the only people who would know how to fucking survive are the Aboriginals in fucking Australia, or like the people who haven't become technologically dependent. And so, and they still have to.
People that know how to use technology don't know how to do anything else. The humans don't specialize like that.
No, I'm not assuming that necessarily. I'm assuming, like, have you ever seen the movie WALL-E?
Oh my god. Okay, yes.
I imagine something like that, where people are just going to get so fat and be on fucking their scooters, and they're going to be so dependent on robots and shit that if something does go wrong, they're not going to be able to help themselves. And the only people who aren't going to be like that are the people who still live in nature and still have to deal with natural selection. And so we'll see how that shit turns out. But I mean, it's a shit show, no matter which way you put it. And like, as far as kids go, kids are just like any other fucking humans, are like any other animal, like dogs. Like not all pit bulls are fucking misbehaved little shitheads, but because pit bulls are naturally more deadly than other animals because they got like jaws that lock and they're pretty good at fucking killing other shit. If you get a bad-tempered one, it's a lot worse and a lot more deadly than a bad-tempered chihuahua or something of the sort. So it's all about like, I mean, it's a crapshoot how your kids are going to turn out, like, genetically, and some are going to be just more fucking or more likely to be bad tempered or have all sorts of shit going for them. And then there's all sorts of outside factors that factor into that, like how you raise them, the experiences they have, etc. And it only gets worse from there. So it's like, that's one of the reasons why I'm hesitant to have kids, is just because
Well,
you never know how your
Because
fucking
it's
kids
not
are going to turn out.
guaranteed.
it's a
That's silly. Everything about living is risky.
Oh, well, no shit. Everything's about living is risky, but like, if I had a bad tempered kid and I couldn't spank him without the threat of fucking CPS coming on my ass and then like have my kids taken away, what's the fucking point? I understand that we need to fucking continue on the population, but like, it's like, it reminds me kind of like one night stands. What's the point of hooking up with a bunch of chicks if you're gonna just have minimum payoff and high risk?
Well, I get what you're saying. I don't agree with the premise.
well, I understand the fear of the possibility of things going in one direction or the other. Again, this is all very rational. But the problem with being overly rational about these things is that you also get overly cautious. And when you get overly cautious, you end up just living your life not doing anything.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I think I understand the concerns and whatnot, but if you're not doing something that can further things, you're not really living your life at all. You're not, like, because you have to take risks in every facet of your life. And with that said, though, you shouldn't just say that just because it's potentially one thing or the other, don't do it. I mean, running a business is potentially risky. It could fail, it could flop. If you're lucky, the bank might bail you out, but there's a good chance they might not. It's a risk one way or the other. But if you did take that risk, there still is like high rewards to all that. And having kids is also another aspect of stuff. It's just more on the genetic level. And it's also on the biological one too, because there are certain rewards you get from being a parent that involves like the serotonin within your brain, and it can help you and motivate you into doing other things. Because remember what I said: if you take on responsibilities, you end up becoming a better person. And I think avoiding these things will hinder your life in the long run. It probably already, like for me, it's hindered my life. I haven't had kids. I'm in my 30s and all that. It's a very risky job for me. And now I'm going back into the dating pool and all that. And that's a very strenuous thing onto me as well. But I wouldn't have had to deal with any of this if I just took care of it when I was younger.
Well, that's the thing. It's a balance of risk and reward, and with a variety of shit that people do. And I mean, I know. I mean, Schmeckel got lucky. What you said, you stopped using condoms at 14, and you're still fucking like a rabbit. And luckily, you didn't get kids until now. But then again, I also know other people who've gotten completely fucked the first time they've screwed somebody, and they get a permanent STD, or they knock her up, and they're stuck with a kid. And that's the kind of deal. I mean, some people are luckier than others. Shit happens. I'm a big believer in Murphy's Law. Whatever bad can happen will happen at the exact wrong moment. So I try to balance the risk and reward and see, like, what is it worth to me. And like, I've thought about having kids and such, but as it stands at the moment, like, I think that most people are going to determine that it isn't really worth the risks, and it isn't worth the cost at the way it's going now. I mean, if you want to address birth rate, there are other ways to like kind of increase it. One way you could do it is like you fucking encourage people, or like you get like tax fucking write off for having a kid, basically. Like, oh, you have to pay less taxes yearly if you have kids, depending on the amount of kids you have, and except you'd have to regulate that to make sure you don't have people abusing the system and just popping out a bunch of kids and then just barely keeping them alive so they can get the tax benefits.
We already have that kind of encouragement in our.
Oh yeah, we don't have. I mean, not quite. Not enough to the point where like taxes aren't cut down enough to the point that people really want to like have kids so they can get lower taxes.
No, cost of living hasn't been put down enough for people to want to have kids. part of it is cost of living because you have to have two incomes to have a comfortable household and a comfortable lifestyle now.
Yeah.
The other part of it is with all this taking forever to grow up, finding yourself, more time for you, kind of personal growth mentality we have in our culture, that is putting off the formative years to grow really healthy kids.
I can understand that. I mean, it, I think it's just a matter of just kind of economics, and I feel like automation's only going to screw it over. But like, yeah, when you're younger, it's better to have kids biologically. Fucking in the economy, fuck no, it ain't.
Well, I doubt the automotive thing in particular, only because
Automation isn't going to do that much for us because there's way too many jobs. Humans are really good at keeping themselves busy.
Well, I think the part of the other reason for the automotive thing is that a lot of the people that they do employ within these jobs, like factories and whatnot, they often are customers as well, and that also goes a long way to maintaining the business. So you actually have a vested interest in keeping them around. Same reason why some automotive companies, although they did go very automated in a lot of their things, they did find that their sales actually did go down. So it didn't really help them in the long run. I see the fear, but it's not really a viable one. The automotive industry is the prime example of why they probably won't go that way. I know that it also seems that way because you hear a lot from Japan within their medical communities, but that's also because they have a massive low birth rate and they need robots and stuff to take care of their aging population.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand the need or the concern, but I can pretty much assure you it's not going to go that way.
No, I don't see automation. Humans are way too busy by nature. I mean, there was a big uprise because what are all the people that scoop the shit off the road? Literally, what are all the people going to do now that horses aren't popular anymore? The shit scoopers don't have a job.
Well, I do agree that humans do tend to move on, they evolve and with their environment to a degree, but I feel like with the advent of like major corporations, fucking doing or like having these huge fucking monopolies on given things like I imagine like the Amazon Amazon's gonna probably go fully automated. Possibly within my lifetime, unless some sort of regulations introduced to keep that shit from happening. Because I mean, a machine could do the job a lot quicker and a lot with a lot less hassle than what they're paying the guys now to do. Where these guys they're moving so quickly that they can't have bathroom breaks, so they're pissing into like Gatorade bottles and like they're just sprinting between where the boxes are and where the products are, so they can get them boxed and shit. I think that it's just going to be greed that kind of fucks everybody over. Just somebody's going to be like, oh, we can maximize profits by furthering automation. And eventually there's going to be enough people without jobs that there will probably be some sort of revolution or some fucking sort of legislation will be introduced to completely get rid of automation past a certain point. Like only a certain percentage of a business can be automated.
I don't know if any legislation would ever go in that direction. That sounds a little much.
Yeah.
I bet it could go that way. I mean, the only thing I feel like it would happen is that I mean, if you're a mega corporation, it doesn't cost much to pay off a politician relatively compared to your profits. So you just pay them off and they don't fucking vote. They don't vote yes on that bill. And then you just keep on keeping on like it's been going for fucking God knows how long. With all sorts of shit.
What? So the Me Too.
Yeah, we've really fucking kind of went off topic.
Well, and that's okay. Some of the stuff is interesting conversation, and some of it's postulating as to what the future may or may not have in store.
Yeah, but we do need to start wrapping up because I gotta set up the next show.
Fair enough.
Okay, cool.
Leaf, Atamo, one of you, shut down the show.
Okay. And tonight we had on Brockus and Trippy and Mr. LM002 and Samaj and Schmeckel and Leaf and me, and now we're done.
Bye bye.
Take care, guys.